Hello, hello, happy Friday. Welcome to our Friday Witchy Hangout. We do this every Friday where we explore a topic energetically, we mix our energies together, and today we've got a really, really juicy one, which is, let me tell you a secret. So I'm just kind of going to put it out there for the universe, like what secret it wants to make you aware of for whatever reason, shining the light in the darkness. I just heard that's going to set you free or liberate you in some way, but then I just heard free your mind and the rest will follow. So, oh yeah, and then it's like you're colorblind, don't be so shallow. And the anchor card that we have, which the anchor card is not a choice, but it is the mirror card, and I'm noticing like all the black and white tints here. So it's like something that seems kind of like black and white. They want to add some color, some pop, some nuance to your situation, or just it's not actually as simple as black and white, something here like that. So that's just a little mini message. So let me tell you a secret. And we've got 3 piles. So I just showed you the anchor card, which I didn't even mean to match my shirt to this Christmas tree back here. We're just getting into the holiday season. You've been hearing that song since you woke up. Interesting. Okay, so this is the anchor card. So this is the card that kind of is infusing energy into all of the piles. It's not a pile in and of its own, but this is like kind of a mirroring energy, which to me is very spiritual. It's very spiritual because, you know, relationships and life, it's just all kind of mirroring things back to us. So this secret has been mirrored and reflected in some way in your reality that you haven't been able to pick up on directly. It's been distorted. You've picked up on it, something here like that. And then I'm also noticing, like, see how that looks like a shard of glass there? And I'm seeing you pick it up and cut through something here as well. So this is just interesting. I have no idea what's going to come out, but I'm just kind of channeling as I'm going here. So we've got 3 piles as per usual. And so pile number 1 is the ring. Pile number 2 is the shadow, and pile number 3 is the eternal child, which honestly sounds like a medieval fairy tale. The ring, the shadow, and the eternal child. And the mystery of the mirror. Sorry. Okay, so that's our 3 piles. And if you haven't already picked your pile, now is a good time to do that. If you already have, this is the time where I like to put my hands over my heart just to connect in with that heart space. I like to think about the fact that there are neurons in our heart, or neural cells in our hearts too, and just kind of connect in with that space with the chakras of like the palm of my hand. Just connect into that center. I'm channeling a lot of messages right now anyways, and I just heard Ma'at, which is like Egyptian, and I always channel a message that goes back to Egyptian times, but it's like I'm hearing the heart, the weighing of the scale, potentially around these secrets. But in ancient Egyptian beliefs, they believe that the heart records like all of the things that you've done. So there's secrets here, but and then Ma'at weighs the heart against the feather at the end of your life. But when she's doing that, she makes you say like a declaration of innocence. You know, like I did not do this, I did not do this, I did not do this, I did not do this. And like they're kind of like weighing the heart. And so this somehow ties in with the declaration of innocence and the weighing of the feather against the heart, which to me, it seems like very karmic kind of a situation. So anyways, we're tapping into that heart space here with like some kind of secretive energy. There's a lot going on here. Themes of blame where there shouldn't be, because you didn't have the full truth and like some kind of distorted reality. Anyways, I got to stop channeling this. So, just take a nice deep breath as we know, one full breath is a meditation. So just and just let your energy fall. That kind of relief, that relieving sigh, kind of an energy. But then just let your breath peter into a natural rhythm and turn the gaze inward. Connect to that part of yourself that it goes beneath time and space. That is that eternal child energy, that eternal soul energy. The observer that has witnessed you lifetime after lifetime, after lifetime, go through trials, tribulations, joys, and triumphs. Connect to that part of you that is neutral and understands. I just heard with the love of a father that you must go through your own experiences, your own trials and tribulations. Connect with that part of you. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes, be drawn into whatever pile or multiple piles, keeping in mind that the journey is a part of it. So however you get drawn into your piles also can be a clarifying message in and of itself, or it might show you that some aspect of the journey is more important than like the finish line. And if you understand that part of it, then you cross the finish line. There's some kind of weird paradox of, whoa, this is a trippy energy that we are getting into. Very trippy energy. So your DNA carries memories. Ma is the deity of justice, which means Anpu is around. Anubis judges the feather represented by Ma'at. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of people that are into their like Egyptian stuff, which is great because you can, I don't know a lot about it. So if something like stands out, okay, Pluto's in the building. Okay, here we go then. I feel like here we go. So we're just going to compassion this whole space. Compassion. And I'm just called to remind you. So the text that you see at the top of the chat, for those of you that are looking at that, and the text that's written on this prayer wheel, it is the chant Om Mani Padme Hum. And it's the journey to enlightenment. Om Mani Padme Hum. And they're showing me that, like almost like somebody jumping from rock to rock up a river, like Om Mani Padme Hum. And I feel like some part of this has been necessary to traverse your path, because it feels to me like the river is the secret, but it's like Om Mani Padme Hum, like you're kind of putting the pieces together here as well. Om, I'm just hearing that so strong. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om. But usually it's like this is like a light, flowy kind of chant, but I'm hearing Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. So I don't know if some of you want to work with that or if there's some kind of like message in that, but oh, the journey to compassion. Okay, so one thing, this is another general message. So one thing that I notice like really comes out a lot on my channel that I feel like our guides are trying to help us to understand is that these words that we often think have like a specific meaning: forgiveness, compassion. Okay, I have forgiveness for you. Okay, I have compassion for you. Like a lot of times, let's be real, you don't, like in that just specific moment, because it's not just a single step process. It's not just a matter of like deciding like, okay, and I will have compassion for you. It's not like that. And I know that we don't relate to it like that. Like we really do try to connect with the energy of it. But have a little grace with yourself. And I just heard, put a little love in your heart. And this is the journey to doing that, which is like, but you have to put the pieces together. You have to go down the grief stream, the river Styx, if you will. You've got to put the pieces together in order for you to come to the completion, the fullness of your understanding. You need the full pieces of the puzzle in order to like come together and have that full understanding. Once you have then and only then, I'm hearing, when you have that full picture, that full understanding, that's when it makes sense. And have you ever heard that phrase that says, if it's not happy, then it's not the end? I feel like it's like that. Like it is something that just naturally clicks over when you have the full piece of the puzzle. It's that full understanding, like, oh, and then you can understand everyone's piece of it through a higher lens. And I'm not talking about that in some kind of abstract way. It's very nitty gritty. It's very rooted in the pragmatism of like, this is why they did what they did. And you can understand that, it's a them thing at the very least. Like you can disentangle yourself from that energy in a very real way. I'm talking about in a very like real, pragmatic, understanding way. So they're saying like, that's what we're trying to do here is we're trying to usher you down the river Styx. We're trying to Om Mani Padme Hum. One thing, two thing, three thing, four thing. And I do feel like they've kind of been working up to revealing some kind of secret here, something hidden in the background that was behind the scenes that you don't quite understand fully. And because you don't, it could be because certain people here, I don't know if I'm in a pile or not. Certain people here are trying to hide certain things, and so are you. Everybody's trying to hide things in this situation. Whereas if everybody puts their piece into the puzzle together, because everybody's trying to save face is what I'm getting. There's like a prideful energy. So if everybody puts their pieces of the puzzle together, then all of a sudden it makes sense and everybody can go, oh, we're just people, kind of a thing. But instead, there's like a lot of pride and a lot of saving face. And so that's what's actually fragmenting. And the fragmenting of the mirror energy is, and I just heard the mirror dimension, which is like the shadow dimension in Doctor Strange, Yeah, the mirror dimension. And it's like adding some level of confusion. People they just get bits and pieces, and then you have to Om Mani Padme Hum. So that's what they're trying to do here. And some of you may be a little further along than the groups that you've belonged to. So they're helping you to piece this together for yourself so that you can heal and be free of this. Okay, so that was just a big intro that we have, I guess. I just saw a big water slide of like you going into this water slide into your pile. So that was like a big splash. Okay. So let's get into pile number 1, shall we? Compassion. All right. I'm actually getting a lot here. I just looked at this moon in the mirror card, which this is like the moon is like illusions and secrets, but also it's brightened now. And also I do feel like there's something that has been kind of okay, there's a very visible part to whatever this secret is, but then it's behind the scenes. And I heard Schadenfreude, no Schadenfreude. So I'm actually feeling there's a group here. And that's why you experienced what you experienced, is because of some kind of perverted group or network. But this is a hidden group. And I actually think for some of you, this is like a hidden group within a group. And it feels to me like it's men, I think, for a lot of you. And we've talked on my channel a lot about the difference. There's such an energetic vibrational difference of a group of men versus a group of women. And I'm not trying to say like men are worse than women or anything like that. But the way that I like to ground this is I remember learning in a marketing class that this is an actual metric that businesses use to determine whether or not businesses can grow and flourish and whether or not money can be made is plots of land where groups of women gather and they feel comfortable to gather alone and with their children. That's where you can make a lot of money because the energy there is Venus. It's commerce, it's beauty, it's harmony, it's balance. Where a group of men gather, especially like during the day or even at night, that's a standing army and it's a different energy. And I'm hearing from Ted Lasso, which is a show about healthy masculinity and ushering men into healthy masculinity. There's a part in The Office where Nate, who's kind of a nerdier guy, and he's very included in that, but he starts to kind of be conspiratorial. He wants to talk about some of the other guys behind their back, and he goes, "Nein, Schadenfreude." So we're not going to talk about things like in this conspiratorial tone, and that's what I feel like is going on here. There is some kind of male group, and I just heard it's like a gang or like a maybe. There's some kind of gravity of darkness in the center of it. So usually you think about the solar system, right? And that the center is like a sun energy. I feel like this is a false sun, but this is more like a vacuum or a void or a black hole. But it is creating a lot of gravity and it's what's drawing the men in here. And it is conspiratorial. And I feel like this group and the perversion of this group is not necessarily seen. And I'm hearing the John F. Kennedy quote, like, and actually some of you might want to rewatch this, but he gives that speech where he talks about the secret societies. He says like, actually there's secret societies that are operating behind the scenes kind of thing. Now they're showing me this juxtaposition of like, this is kind of being illuminated on the collective level that things that we thought were glamorous and things that we thought were homey or traditional or something, like there's actually something really gross and seedy and nefarious that are going on. They're saying you're seeing this in the collective, but it's actually mirrored in your personal life as well. So if this automatically where you went in your mind is to go, oh my gosh, like this is what's happening in our world. They're saying this is happening on a much more personal level. And they're showing me kind of tiers to that. And what they're saying is, you know that how certain energies are the same in groups. So what I mean is they share that narcissistic dynamic. So this is whether this is a toxic family dynamic centered around at least one narcissist, right? Or the study of cults, for instance, like it's the same energy. One is like a smaller group and it's very nuanced and it's very everyday. The other can be much more like, have a further reach, can be known on a public stage, can make billions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? It's the same actual energy. So they're showing me this is the energy that has taken up root in our world. And it's like of levels. It works through men because men are soldiers. That Mars energy, it can work primarily through men. And they're showing this is actually some kind of masculinity test for the souls that are involved here. They're saying, don't be afraid of this. We're all in position. And this is what, because I'm hearing heave ho. So like we're all kind of in position in the ways that we need to be. They're all our souls being tested here. And they're kind of showing me like the rite of passage ceremonies that used to take place in tribes where, you know, like, I don't know, around 13 or whatever. It's like, okay, so walk across these hot coals or, you know, go off. A man has to learn how to stand alone kind of a thing. And you need to learn that you can stand alone in order to be to use your masculinity as protection of the group, to learn that that's something that's worthwhile doing instead of becoming a menace and instead of eroding beautiful things, you actually become a protector of it. But it's a choice that that they need to make in themselves, but they kind of give them that experience. That's what I feel like this is in the lost times is what I'm getting, like where we are in full ignorant mode about the nature of who we are and about our inner world and about the energies that kind of like move around us. So I actually think there's this group, whatever it is, they're showing me a very natural way that it kind of forms, and it's not natural, but it's kind of that weighing of the scales, like with Ma'at. So they're showing me at the center is a very negative energy, like a very bad egg. I don't know if this is one person or if it's just like an entity, but there's at least one person here that is just straight up a bad fucking egg. But I do think that they might have a lot of power or a lot of money, but they operate through dark forces. Like I'm like at the bars or, you know, and I'm hearing gateway. So there's some kind of gateway thing that they kind of get hooked in, and I'm hearing like gateway, drugs. So it could just be like, this is the person that, they get their weed from, their like herb, you know, from as like a child or something. And then that gets them around this person. They would have no reason to talk to this person otherwise, then it kind of gets them around this person. I think as they age, it's schmegs. So whatever this is, it's like they try to get them to define their masculinity by these very negative, destructive things. And I can hear there's some kind of competition here. And I think that's what we're blowing the lid on here, is that somehow you were wrapped up in this. A treatment that you received is in part due to a hidden Schadenfreude connection that this man has to a very nasty, very nefarious group. It's a gaggle of bitches, but it's men. And so this is something, again, and this goes to the Mars energy. So Aries is masculine Mars energy. Scorpio is feminine Mars energy, which means when you are going to effectively defend yourself or when you're going to effectively take action in the world, your Mars is how you're going to do that. It's not necessarily a bad thing. So Aries being the masculine version of that, Aries stands alone. Aries is the body. It's on the ascendant. It's a very bright energy. So a lot of times men are empowered in our world to just in the moment, they can just take some kind of action. No, we're not doing that. Yes, we're doing this. I'm going after this. That's very effective when it's lined up with masculine energy. With women, because we're smaller and we tend to have to be, oh my gosh, I just shared my husband sent me the thing that I just shared on the community post of what it feels like to be a woman in the world. It's like being a bicycle, but the whole world is built for cars. And it's like, okay, share the road and everybody's supposed to share the road, but it's really, the road is built for cars. And so if you get hit by a car or something, then it's like your fault. You should read that. But so that's the kind of nature of being a woman, is that there's safety in numbers. And I'm hearing that one of my favorite SNL skits is called Welcome to Hell. And it's a song. And it's like, welcome to hell. Now we're all in here. And it's all the look around, isn't it nice? It's a full nightmare. And it's like, this is what all the women know is, oh, this been the damn world. Like all these men are just kind of like recognizing like, oh my gosh, it's scary to live here. And it's like, oh, are they preying upon you too now? It's been the damn world. This ain't a girl group. We're just travel in a pack for safety, right? We travel in a pack for safety. So with that Scorpio energy, if we're going to be effective in our Mars energy, we have to come together. We have to be conspiratorial about our efforts to move as a group because there's safety in numbers with women. So what happens when you've got men that want to behave like that? Ooh, ooh. And it looks like they're acting independently. Ooh, ooh. You got some nasty, gnarly shit. You got some nasty, gnarly shit, and you got some very girly ass men doing awful, awful shit. And they're giving over that like kind of that's what's going on here. That's what's going on here. And so there's something that you've bumped up against. And I feel like it was a lower level. I just got anger in my jaw. There's something that you bumped into here that is actually a result of these gnarly men. And I'm literally seeing just men in a bar. It's very low, very seedy. And somehow they've like, it's just habitual. It's just pattern. It's like very low level. It's very passive. It's just like getting kind of lulled into things. But then they all kind of get dirt on each other or whatever. And it becomes this crabs in a bucket mentality of like, wait, you want better for yourself? No. You don't get to do better for yourself. So take this on scale, because for some, this is somebody's like narcissistic family that they, as they were getting ushered into, like, I strongly feel like this is men. There could be women like around, but they also have a toxic masculine side. There's something about like the masculine element here. So it could be like within a family unit. So as they started to come of age, they got ushered into, initiated into a very toxic version of masculinity, a very, but first, okay, the way that they get them baited in is they have to get them to falsely identify their masculine energy with harm, with causing harm and trauma. And so that's another thing that they're showing me is corrupted in this group is this false sense of what's funny and what's casual. Because there's this like jovial, lighthearted energy that they think they're participating in, but it's straight evil. Because that's the other thing that I'm getting about this void energy in the center that I'm seeing kind of pull energy like towards it, like a black hole, is that it tries to pretend like it's the sun, but it's not. It's a very dark energy. So the sun is jovial. It has a philosophy. It has this leadership-oriented energy, but that's not what this is. There's a gravity here to whatever this is, or whoever this is, that's trying to like put its little tentacles out there and pull people towards. But so it has kind of a unifying philosophy, but I feel like it's deeply dark. And in order for it to do that, it has to control the frame, right? Just like narcissists, it has to control the frame. Reality should be our frame. And this is what being a truth seeker is I'm trying to uncover what the truth is. I try, and the closer you get to truth, the closer you get to God, the closer you get to love. All of that just kind of works together, pointing in the other direction. That's not the direction that these people are going, but I feel like it's very convincing, and it's very crabs in a bucket, and it's very loyalty based. Like, what, are you gonna pick her over me? Or you're gonna go over there instead of like being over here? It's very much like that. It's honestly like, it is striking me as like Mean Girls. I'm seeing like the movie Mean Girls, you know, with like Regina George and everything, but this is like men. This is like a male version of that. Like our society thinks about that as like, oh, this is like Mean Girl stuff, right? This is like the more feminine side of things. And it is, because it's that Scorpio energy where if women, that's a healthy energy for women. If you're going to be, if you're going to have, it's not exactly smart for you to just go toe to toe with a guy that's bigger than you. That's not intelligent, right? So it's appropriate over here in a certain way. So yeah, there's some kind of unifying theory, but the theory is wrong and the theory is negative. And, so it gives this group control over who is successful, who is seen as successful, because they make their own rubric, but it's not God's rubric and it's not of the light. Do you know what I'm saying? Somehow, you've gotten pulled into this. And I just heard that song Centuries. It's like, you will remember me for centuries or centuries. But I'm getting that this is a group that like, okay, so I'm hearing, this is a totally different energy, but it's a Sarah Bareilles song, Chasing the Sun, right? That energy. It's like, it's a really old city split between the dead and the living. And I just keep hearing that on loop. It's a really old city split between the dead and the living. And I thought to myself, sitting on a graveyard shelf, I feel like this has gone on for a long period of time, because the ring is also like bound up. And there's several, I just heard, whoops, I seem to have overbooked my commitments. So these men that are getting sucked in, because they have actual life paths that they've agreed to fulfill for God. They have actual divine connections, whether that's romantic connections, friendship connections. They have a place in the world that they are supposed to be fostering. They have community organizing that they're supposed to do, community protection that they're supposed to do with their energy. And they're over here with this group. I just heard, whoops, I seem to have overbooked my commitments. So there's this overlapping of commitments. They have to take this mirror energy. They have to say, it looks like I was a fool, looks like I was fearful, looks like I couldn't see this group clearly. I couldn't see the negative philosophy clearly. I thought, because there's this gateway energy to this kind of passive energy, this kind of build up energy. Like before you know it, now you're like elbow deep in shit, like kind of thing. It's like that. I thought that, but it's really passive. It's like, oh, don't worry about this, or oh, don't worry about that, or it's just next weekend, which turns into 2, which turns into 3, which turns into 10 years. You just pissed down the drain with this group, but worse than pissed down the drain, because they're traumatizing people in the process. I think and I'm not saying that this isn't a big deal, but I'm saying I think for a lot of these groups, like the least thing that they do is like womanizing. So there could be some kind of competition here. That's okay. So that's the other thing that they want me to go back to is there's some kind of like there's a fucked up idea of competition. There's a fucked up idea of what is fun and jovial. Because I can see them all roughhousing around like, but it's like things that are sacred. Nothing is sacred to this group, and they don't have a scruple among them. Not one of these people has a scruple anymore of we shouldn't really do that. That's off limits. And I think the way that these men get drawn into this, it's on like kind of a different level. And I think it has to do with social intelligence, because they're showing me the dark center of this, needing Mercury. They need kind of a Mercury figure. And I do feel like for a lot of you, this Mercury energy may be a divine masculine energy, because there's no door that Mercury cannot unlock. And it's kind of like Mercury is divinely sent. Remember I told you everybody's in position? It's like Mercury is sent to go into this place, because Mercury's going to flip. And now I'm going to another reading that I did. It was like this midpoint flip energy where the power in the situation is going to flip. And it was between him and his divine feminine. And this could just be even philosophies, if you consider that, because this is very negative feminine energy. I know these are men, but this is a very negative feminine energy that they're around, because they're behaving like women is what I'm getting. But they think it's manly, or they're rebranding it as manly. Something about this is very female. Like, and you may actually be like the divine feminine here may actually be more independent. You know, like just because some idiot tells me that's funny, I make up my own mind what's funny. And there's something here where it's like, it's very clear that these people do not have a scruple among them, you know? So it's because they misunderstand competition. So competition, this came out in a reading, has a very healthy connotation, because it makes us all better when it's done correctly. So what I mean by that is it's got to be out in the light of day. You have to actually be competing. Remember when Lance Armstrong got caught like shooting up the steroids, and he had won several competitions and they had to take all those away? You know why? Because he didn't actually win. Sir, what do you think we're doing here when we're competing? We're trying to find who's the best bike rider. And you're not it. You're pumping yourself full of something behind the scenes. Why? Just so you can stand on the podium, win the money, and get the trophy? We're not here about that. It's exciting to watch that masculine energy, because it likes to destroy things. It likes to challenge itself, right? There's nothing wrong with that when you can funnel it into this, it makes them all better kind of an energy. But it's Aries. It's up front. It's in the light of day. It's I'm competing on these grounds and not on these grounds. Nobody's trying to see how much shit you can pump in your veins, Mr. Lance. This isn't the competition. So it doesn't mean anything when you win. And that's what, something here about this competition, it's like, how low can you go? And there's maybe some men in this group that think the competition is like real and they're trying to compete the right way, but then they're looking around and they're shocked at how low some of these other men have gone, and that they don't have that healthy. So that's one thing that this group gets wrong. The other thing that they get wrong is like love energy, and which I think is self-explanatory. This isn't a group based on love. It's a group based on neediness and power dynamics and sad. There's a lot of sadness that not only they put out in the world, but it's because they generate a lot of it amongst themselves, and very negative conversations. And the things that they laugh at, I can see aren't funny, because it's like there are things that are sacred. There's also idiots in this group, and I'm talking about social idiots. So it's like some of these like guys that are more with it, they're like, okay, we're going to do this and this. And then they're like, whoa, I didn't realize it needed to be explained that like there's certain lines we don't cross. And they fed this in another person is like kind of what they're realizing. There could have been bets being made about stupid shit. Like somehow you bumped into this energy, or this is a group. This is like the men in your family, or this is like, I don't know. But they've actually funded is what I'm getting with their energy and their laughter and their ideas and the stupid shit they joke about that's not funny. Like this group holds nothing sacred. And so they're like, well, that was just a joke, or it was just casual energy. But people are like, if this is a competition of like, okay, how many girls can you sleep with? You know, there's people doing underhand shit. So again, it's like, what do you think you're proving? All you're proving is who's the biggest asshole. You've made a monument to Satan. Stop. Like there's something here like that. It's not understood, but there's energy that's kind of like fighting back. So somehow this has affected you, and it's affected your life, and it's affected your community. Because I'm hearing this has been unleashed on like this city for some of you. This has been that this is what goes on in the bars, or like that this goes on unchecked in this masculine community that has nay a scruple among them. The other thing is I think that they're learning, there's something about humor where not everybody in this group understands humor, and they feel they laugh at cruel things or mean things. And then also there are certain people here who do understand humor, but then they're shocked when other people don't understand it. But my husband said to me that he started noticing that whenever people actually started listening to him, people actually started taking his words seriously, that he couldn't joke around as much, because it shocked people. And I was like, oh my God, that like a light bulb went on for me, where it's like, oh my gosh, when you're taken seriously, you really do have to watch what it is that you say. And so some of these people, especially these kind of Mercury men, where none of this could go on without the Mercury men, because they grease the wheels. It's like, okay, well, there's this person that's very powerful and they have access to this or they have access to that. Come be a part of it. And it could just be, I think a lot of them are lying to themselves, saying this is benign or this is casual, and they're about to be confronted, if they haven't already, with the seedy underbelly, because this is a group that just pushes the seedy underbelly out, and they're like, it's just casual fun. No, the fuck it isn't. Like, grow a moral, grow a virtue. And there are men here that need to learn how to speak up and say, we don't do this around here. We do not do this. We can have fun. It's not fun to put someone in therapy for the rest of their life. That's not fun, and you're going to stop doing it. It's this isn't, there's a healthy leader among them. But I do think that they've got to turn on whatever this energy is. And there's going to be a moment where they can do it. And this Mercury person or Mercury people that are bringing people into whatever this is, making it seem friendly, making it seem cool. This whole operation couldn't go on without these people that are very socially intelligent. They've got the intelligence to flip on this person, and there's going to be a moment in time where they do it. If it's a person at the center of this, or just an ethos or a place or something, because for some of you, I'm literally getting it's like alcohol, or something like that. I don't know, but they can flip, because this is going to have like a weak energy, and Mercury is very intelligent, and it can kind of, there's no door that it can't get into. So it also may have access to secrets or something like that. Again, this is something that we're seeing on a broad level. And to be honest, isn't it the women? It's kind of the women that are like actually helping to expose a lot of these things. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, but it's something about their masculine energy that's able to kind of do this. And I feel like there's a group of men that somehow have been wrapped up in this on different tiers, but I do think that their leader is what I'm hearing. It's almost spirit guide energy, but their leader is feminine. Oh my gosh, because this fell over. Okay, I wondered why. Hold on. This, let me just see. Okay, it was this card, because I dropped like a little deck, like a little bit, and these cards flipped over, and I wondered why. Oh, look, the truth energy, like coming out with this Ace of Swords. But I was looking at this, and I knew that this was like important. So see how this is a female here, and see how like the little sunflowers. Sunflowers follow the sun, wherever the sun goes. So she's like pruning these flowers, and they're like towards the sun, because I'm hearing, don't be afraid of this. Like, these men that are in this group shouldn't be afraid of this necessarily, because this is some kind of like, you have to learn to stand on your own. You have to break free of this Schadenfreude group. This isn't healthy. This isn't normal. You have to learn how to stand on your own. There's some kind of masculinity test that is wrapped up in this. And so they're all exactly like where they need to be. And there's something here about this female energy. And I actually feel like she's a part of this soul group, but she's gotten out of it before the rest of them. And so she's kind of agreed to, like, she's learning her karma, because I feel like she's maybe been a part of that as well in the past, but she just knew better. And so these people actually have a lot of love for this feminine. I think it's a female, or it's a female something, like I described in the rite of passage of, I have a love for beauty and harmony and art and creativity and society. And I think that's actually fun. And I don't actually think it's funny when you are word people and you think that that's roughhousing. It's not roughhousing. And actually, when men start to understand what that does to people, and that, you got to go to the doctor afterwards, and you've got 2 to 3 months that you're just sitting there hoping that you're fine, and the trauma that does mentally. And when they start realizing that, I think that these other men who are doing that will be swiftly dealt with. I honestly think so. When they truly see like the truth of it. And I feel like maybe all of that's like starting to come out, where it's going to be the good side of things working against the bad side of things, of like, shut up, sit down. You're not cool. And but sit down. Like, it's that kind of energy. And I always hear someone's grandpa in my head that said, when in the timeline when is it not cool anymore to be self-disciplined? Discipline has always been a part of that masculine path, because they rule over the death principle. Imagine that. And there is a bit of like that Freud kind of womb envy thing of like, well, the feminine energy, we can just sprinkle that shit everywhere. And it's like, fine, but I have to restrict myself. And it's like, yeah, you got to learn how to use the death principle. Like, you're going to incarnate as a feminine too, but yeah, you have to learn how to restrict yourself. It's too potent of an energy. So it's not cool to be incontinent where that energy is concerned. And this grandfather figure always says, when did it become cool to just not be able to control yourself? Like, I just don't understand. When did that become the pinnacle of masculinity? And you'll notice like a lot of these like talking point men, they talk about discipline in certain areas, but they're hypocrites, because then they don't apply it to other areas. Namely women, because they don't view women as people. So yeah, but anyways, like, I feel like these people actually have a lot of love for maybe it's just the feminine in general. there is actually a lot of love here. And there is like women in these men's lives that they care about, whether it's their mom or their daughter or their sister or their love interest. Like there's people here. And I just heard that Rihanna song that says, she's just another K. Easy for a good girl to go bad. So there's going to be somebody in their life where it's like, she's not just another K, and he fucking knows it. That's a person. Yeah. It's not just her that's a person. It's the rest of us are people too. Everybody's just a person. So maybe you should change your nasty fucking narratives in this nasty hidden group. Maybe that's what needs to change. Maybe that's where you need to operate. And not just, I just heard you can't save just the one. You can't just save her without saving all the other ones too. And without like kind of hitting it at the root. You can't do it. So I do think that there's men here that are like flipping. They're like, I don't like seeing these people treated like this. And it's some kind of feminine energy. And we're all feminines like when we're kids. Because you're attached like to your mom and to your community and everything. So feminine is a receptive energy. You receive energy from like your community and your parents and everything. So at the end of the day, it's really all of us because we all have our inner children that is carried with us. And I just touched this like heart emblem. It's the heart. It's connecting back to like the heart, and a declaration of innocence. Because I like a lot of men are like, again, they have to redefine this. Like they should be protectors of innocence, and they have to protect it first and foremost in themselves. And then I go back to the weighing of the heart and the declaration of innocence. And it says, I have not done this. I have not done that. I have not done that. But in order for you not to have done this, this, and this, it requires self-discipline. Self-discipline is a form of strength, So, yeah, this is like the truth here that's coming out about this group and this like negative association. And it's gone on for like lifetimes. But look, it's starting to open up there in the middle. And I do feel like there's divine feminines that have been harmed by this group because it's like if their masculine energies get like sucked into this, then they become harmed by this because potentially there's a shared energy. But depending on what's going on here, because there's a certain level of grievances that like if a masculine, this could be your father or your brother, like, right? But they have certain responsibility to help protect the weaker people around them, and I mean that in just like physical body or like from, you don't know that this is going on. So if they're not doing it, they're going to give you your freedom. There could be some level of egregiousness that's gone on here, but you don't know what it is. You haven't seen like this kind of aspect of it, but you're actually going to cut away from this because you know that you don't deserve to be treated like this. And now your energy is like not entangled like with that soul group's energy or something like that, but it's this moon energy. It's what's like shining the light here. And yeah, it's a very negative group. And this could be the group that has its roots in this like Egyptian time period that I keep getting that. I keep hearing that. Like Mount Sinai, like sin, that's where we get the word sin from, that peninsula. And because they thought the moon, which is like illusions and the darkness, lived in the mountain of Mount Sinai. So they, over time, that just became like sin is short for error, because it really used to be the story of humanity is a story of like light and dark, like during the daytime and during the nighttime, because it's scary at nighttime, like predators come out at nighttime kind of thing. Not that predators don't exist during the day, but yeah. So there's some kind of, it's okay. It's round and around here, but see how like there's an opening in the center. Also very, very, I just heard Vesica Pisces, but it's very schmaginal, if you get what I'm saying. I don't know what I can say here, but it's like the opening, it's like going into the feminine instead of out of the feminine. But there's some kind of paradoxical energy here. And I'm seeing like you've gone around and around in this circle, possibly over the age, Vesica Pisces, during the age of Pisces. But I'm hearing that Albert Einstein quote that says, a problem cannot be solved on the same level of consciousness which created it. So it's like not within this group. It's got to, like, you've got to transcend this group. This group needs to stop, non-Schadenfreude. Like even just having, I just heard it's healthy for men to have that kind of quality between them. Like we don't do Schadenfreude over here. We don't whisper and get conspiratorial between us. It's not where we're supposed to operate. If you want to compete, let's have a football game. Let's do flag football. That's the healthy kind of competition that makes all of us better. It's because even if you get the girl from this underhanded means, even if you get the job or the money, it doesn't prove anything other than how big of an asshole you really are and how dedicated to like Satan you are, basically, like sin, error, and the opposite of the heavenly energy. I don't know. There shouldn't be a rush to be the biggest douchebag that you can possibly be. It's harder to go the other way. It's harder to actually restrict yourself in ways that can build communities and protect communities. And that's how you turn that Mars energy into the sun, into that healthy sun energy. And that's what I feel like ultimately is the goal here. But yeah, so I know this was a lot, but let me just see. Yeah, and then Nur just said, I always wondered, how is it that some men don't view women as human beings? How can they not compute that we bleed and feel the same way they do too? It's because your body has a function, I personally think, and they want it so bad that they don't want to have to deal with they don't want to have to look at like maybe that's wrong, because then they would have to examine their behavior around it, and they just want to like use us so badly. Another thing that sometimes I think about is like, do you know how many women like die in childbirth? Like before modern medicine, it's like 1 in 5. That's a huge number. So I actually think that a lot of men got used to, and you think about it, you'd have like 14 kids, back in the day with like no emergency room or something like that. I mean, they probably had to get very used to the thought of women dying, whether it's like their mom or, so it's kind of becomes a risk to get close to a woman. Like if you're going to keep doing things to her, which he's going to, again, like not restricting themselves in any way and not considering her. And so it's like just shutting that off. Like, I don't know. I think it comes back to that. It's death. It's a fear of death. So many things comes back to a fear of death and that scorpionic energy. That's another thing here is there's, I think part of the trauma is like, this is a group that's tapped into that scorpionic energy, which is, it rules over a lot of different things. And by the way, this is the magic of astrology. This is the power of astrology. When you know all the different things that the signs and the planets rule over, you kind of understand how energy moves through our world and how karma can work and everything else, where it's like, you're dealing in the same energy, even if something, right? Because let's take Scorpio, for instance. Scorpio rules over a lot of things: trauma, phobias, other people's money, money after marriage, schmegs, secrets, a lot of that stuff, right? Crisis. So that's all the same energy. So you may have a crisis and then somehow it pops over here with other people's money, and you could never have possibly like connected the two. But it's that energy. It's got a twist, and Scorpio, death, breaks things down and it warps it and it comes out a different way. And I feel like that's the experience that these men are having in this group, is like, I was playing around with scorpionic energy, trauma. I was just throwing trauma around all the women I know. And I was laughing about it and saying that it's casual because it wasn't me that had to receive that repercussion. So I'm going to remain ignorant about that. And I'm just going to say, it's boys will be boys, it's just a little bit of, it can kill us, knock it off. So, and they don't like to look at it. Anyways, so I feel like they've engaged with the Scorpio energy of like, I was just going in for a little bit of this, and then it popped out as a crisis and they couldn't control it. You can't control the death energy. You can't control the Scorpio energy. Isn't that funny? But Scorpio is all about control. So it's these huge energies that I feel like this group throws at other people, and they think that they can control it. But it's this midpoint flip energy, it's going to turn on them. There's going to be that point. Oh, and then, because now I'm seeing Cassie, and that's when their victims can actually has the upper hand. So it's either going to be their victims or it's going to be men in this group. And I think the men in this group have the opportunity first to start speaking, which is very good for their karma. It's them passing their masculine tests, even if they've been wrapped up in bullshit. The other thing that they want me to say about the karmas involved here, karma is I just heard, love is such a crazy thing. But karma is such a crazy thing because there's so much that we don't understand about karma. But two people can engage in the same behavior, and it's very different because they have entirely different karmic histories. So some of these men are sent in here as Mercury, and it's for a reason. And on the back end, remember I told you everybody's in formation? Everybody wants this group taken down, or these groups, this way that our world has been operating. And I'm hearing that Ephesians quote from the Bible that you see everywhere on the internet now that's like, we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but of kingdoms and municipalities, dark princes in high places. It's groups that we wrestle against. We all kind of know this, after we die and horribly in our other lives, and then you can see everything and you're like, okay, so basically all this connects back to the fact that we've got rotten groups of men that operate with impunity behind the scenes. And I'm not even talking about billionaires, or certainly that, but it's also reflected lower levels of stuff, you know? So then we all are like, if I'm going to wrap up my karmas, I have to be a part of like taking this group down so that things can just function normally again. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's in position. So there are certain men that I think have come in here and they're ready for their spiritual testing and they're going to be this Mercury individual. They're going to go right in. So they're probably going to get mixed up doing some things for women. But there's women in those positions that know, and maybe they have certain karmas, but I'm hearing it's the kind of mentality on the back end that's like, get them, go get them. And all is forgiven if you're going to heave ho in the other direction, because that's the purpose of you being in there. Whereas like the nasty in there, they're doing the same kinds of behaviors. They don't have that consent on the back end. There's not an overall plan to turn and start pulling the energy back the other way. So thank you so much, the Lightheart Alchemist. It's a group of trans women in my case. Kind of confused about how that plays in. Interesting. So like everybody's going to kind of like pull on the energy to get it like, you know, so they're going to play a role in outing this or changing this behavior or something over here. So that's very different. The karmas for those two people are very different. You see what I'm saying? But it's like, there's nothing that we can kind of like fathom, but they just need to get in there and start pulling things back towards the light and like flipping that energy and dissipating this energy. And this is a group. And I always get that message that this is a group that's going to break up. They're either going to be able to manage themselves, in which case they're going to start working for the light side of things, but or they're going to be like broken up here in some kind of way. Okay. Yeah, defensiveness. Masculine night rule over the death principle, but in mythology Venus was. Okay, so all of these things are intertwined. Okay. It's so hard to speak about spiritual concepts. If you go far enough into any spiritual concept, you're going to pop out in its opposite energy. And it's also going to have like a tie in there. There are so many different things like in mythology that rules over death. It's not ever just simplified, but we have to have kind of like a starting point with that. So feminine, for instance, is the life-giving principle. Okay, well, think about birth. Think about mitosis. Do you know how much death is involved in that? You're breaking down original DNA and original cells. That's death. It is birth and death are one and the same. They are all of these energies are one and the same, but we live in a world of duality where it seems like everything is disconnected. And I've noticed this, like this is what makes spirituality so hard, is because nothing it ever just exists in its own little bubble. It's all connected into anything else. So life and death are really one and the same because it's a part of a cycle, and like life is gonna, just like the full moon, it's gonna rise into its like utter fullness, and then it's gonna go back, and then death transforms it, and then it has a new life, right? It's just a part of the overall cycle of life. And just as they said, birth is not the opposite of death, birth is the opposite of death, but death is not the opposite of life. Life is all of it. And, you know, so a lot of this is semantics, and it's good for us to kind of think about these things, but just know that it's ever complicated and it's ever nuanced. But I'm just saying this as a community, we have to have an entry point into talking about these things and let it prime your mind. Don't let it stunt the conversation, or like, again, what I was saying in the beginning of like this black and white. If it is life, then therefore death and life are opposites. No, they're not. Life includes death. Life includes birth, you know? So maybe it's more technically correct to even say, but see, I hate this kind of shit. This is also, maybe it's more technically correct, let me finish my thought, to say that women is like the birthing principle. But Virgo energy, which is the nitpicky energy, breaking things down, is where Venus debilitates. And that's because Venus is not meant to be understood in this nitpicky thing. The more masculine sides of life are meant to be understood. You can get to truth by breaking things down and down and down and down and down into their smaller components. But the feminine sides of life, the chaotic sides of life that are more conceptual and philosophical, you can never get there by like breaking things down and down and down. And we also live in a world where because that logos principle exists, like our world says, well, if it's true, then we should be able to break it down and down and down and down and down. And there's certain things that you have to go up and up and up and up and up, you know, like things like that. So I don't know. It's hard to talk about these things, and it's hard to think about these things. And whenever you think about those things and you hit that paradox point, the benefit of that is to actually think it through. And I'm just going to say this as well. Not everything needs to be said in the group just because something is for you. Not everybody's going to think about something in the same way. And it might be a way that your mind like processes it, and it might be detrimental to somebody else's mind, but then I guess that's all part of the process too. See how this is messy? So this is just very messy. And it's because from our point, like in life, I feel like we don't have access to like everything. So we're the blind monks that are like stumbling around and trying to put the elephant together. And it's like, this is a foot. And then somebody's like, this is a trunk. And they seem to be so different. We have to be able to talk about the trunk. We have to be able to talk about the foot. It is valuable to speak about the trunk and the function of the trunk. It is valuable to speak of the foot and the function of the foot, but they are actually a part of one organism, like if that makes sense. So I don't know if that like ties in some way, shape, or form. Maybe this is like the overall secrets of life or something here like that. But let me just see if there's anything else that wants to come through. And then we'll move on here to group 2. Oh my gosh. Okay. So Page of Cups. So immediately I heard like, I'm sorry. And then like there's some kind of tower moment here, like straight to the heart. I just heard shot through the heart and you're to blame, honey. You give love a bad name. But I feel like it's, I just heard another song. It's like, it's another Sarah Bareilles song. Oh, Bottle It Up. There'll be girls across the nation that'll eat this up. Babe, I know that it's your soul, but could you bottle it up? But it's like, you're killing me with your sweetness. Something like that. It's like, you're killing me sweetly with love. Yeah. So somebody here is killing this. There's a masculine here. It's like, you're killing me sweetly with love. And it's this like heart attack kind of energy, but it's like, you're opening up my heart kind of thing. I feel like there's a major reckoning with all of these men with like the innocence that they have corrupted and destroyed within themselves, first and foremost. And that has allowed them to perpetrate a kind of violence onto the people that supposedly they love and care about. Love is, I just heard it again. Oh, love is such a crazy thing. Yeah, and so something here has been a functioning dysfunction, and now this person is like the captain of their ship, and they're like, I gotta move away from this. But there's been some kind of like shocking, this is like a heart-centered awakening. And I keep hearing innocence. And then there's that song, that Taylor Swift song, You're Still an Innocent. Yeah. So this has sparked some kind of heart-centered process where there's like a confusion here. Yeah, look, this is this negative, nasty group. That and by the way, they're all held culpable. They're all held karmically accountable for the evil and vile acts that each one of them perpetrates, because they're fueling it with they're saying they're all like harfing like seals, like you know, like go do it, and it's like, stop hyping up evil, please. Like, you know, so they're all like held accountable here. Yeah, and there's some kind of divine twist of fate that's coming in. Yeah. There's some kind of, there's a blockage as well to this love energy, to like some kind of relationship, some kind of lover's relationship, which is a Gemini card. So Gemini rules over a lot of people in our community. Like our own kids, our certain friends, or a divine partner. But there's somebody here that it's like, I actually love you very much. I don't know why I behaved so badly. I just explained why they behaved so badly. I guess I was under this like effed up mind control. And, but I've got to take accountability for myself and the fact that this group exists. And for some, they are going to be called upon, especially if there's criminality going on in this group, they have to be responsible for taking this group down, basically. Yeah. Something here was competing with love. There was a major heart blockage here. So, okay, that was pile number 1. Just got here and it's perfect timing. That's called participating. Yes. Mm-hmm. Their inner child woke up. Yeah, I think that's a good way of describing it. Like the innocence of that like childhood nature. And I do think that there's something that's gone on here about like from boy to man kind of energy of like, I've lost my way and this seems good. Like, I don't know, that person seems strong and, you know, but not in the right way. Oh. Thank you. All right, so I feel like that's pile number 1. And compassion, but also compassion, you know, it's like you want to have compassion for people like this that get sucked into these kinds of things, but you also have to have compassion for their victims. And you also have to have compassion for yourself. And that can be, which is why like we're all not in the position of God to where we can do all of that at once necessarily. And sometimes, especially if you're victimized by like this kind of behavior, you have to just hold compassion for yourself. And for any kids that you're like, responsible for, or people, your friends, even, by saying like, look, those are some dark people doing some nasty things and we have to get away from them. They're clearly not going to protect you. I'm going to protect you. Even if that's you saying that to yourself in the mirror, they're clearly not going to protect you. Like we're brainwashed to think that men are like our great protectors, but really when you look at it, they perpetrate a lot of the the hard stuff, and they could stop a lot of it with like having better social skills, and being brave, like to say the truth about situations. Nikki, thank you so much. Nikki is always super chatting me over here. Love your mad scientist vibes today, sister. It feels like that. Crazy making and calming. I like to picture myself standing in the center of a seesaw when the paradox poles feel too wobbly. Seal noise was a bonus. I'm always making that seal noise. That's the way it comes through in my mind. Just, yeah. I don't know if this is like relevant too, because, groups are always yin, even when it's groups of men. Oh, I get it. That's why they're not supposed to do it. If they're, and I have heard this, and this is like nothing about, I'm not talking about men and women, okay? Because we're all souls, but I have heard that the yang principle, the masculine energy in the universe, it is the rarest one because it's very hard. It's very hard to come up like individually as your own. Think about sun energy. Most of space is vacuous and dark, and it's yin. And so it's pushing against that yin principle. This group of men is actually yin. It's a very yin energy. And like people die in crowds and stuff because people get like trampled, and like crowds kind of take on like a scary emotional quality sometimes. That's what's going on in this man group. It's like they've actually got to push up against the yin energy. And I would bet that this is the karmic for a lot of these men. So like if they have a mom, like some kind of mother issue, I bet this karmic group of men actually reflects their mother issue. Like this karmic group of men is actually like their mom, like has some kind of issue like that connects with their mom. But they have to push up against it and say, I'd rather go alone. I'd rather be alone than be a part of this mess, And it's putting them, I just heard hermit. So like their journey in this life, these men that are like associated with this is to go hermit mode. And maybe they've had a lot of feminine lives. And they're trying to make that switch over, and they don't understand it. They don't understand, like, they think it's better to be with groups of people than to be on their own, but not this group of people. There are certainly groups of people that it's like, it is better for you to walk away and just like be alone. And I think the female or the females involved in this actually do know that and may have actually shown quite a bit of strength in the face of this group, or had to, but didn't have the full picture, just kind of felt like something was off and then like cut themselves free of it. So, okay. I just keep hearing that song. It's like, yeah, love is such a crazy thing. We got too many issues. This has been a revelation. All those ideas that aren't easy to put to words to. Man, I so agree. That's why all this stuff is so hard to understand, because we're supposed to like do it and experience it, because life is like an experiential kind of thing. So it's hard to talk about it. It's because it's in a way it's not supposed to be talked about, because it can never be like fully contained. And that's why I always whenever it comes up, I always try to say that, because it's there's a Buddhist quote that says the finger pointing to the moon is not the moon, because that's all we can really do for each other is to like point towards the moon and be like, so you get it? Like, do you see the moon? Because I can't like make you see the moon. Like, you've got to see the moon. The best I can do is just point to it and be like, well, over there, but if you look at my finger and then you think that that's the point of it or something, it's like, because it can't be contained in it, because it's not supposed to, because it's supposed to be an experiential thing, and it's supposed to be that every single one of us wakes up to it like within ourselves in a way that we can like feel and understand, and that's actually the truth of it. You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't stop trying to point to the moon, and we shouldn't stop trying to walk each other home. It's like it's so hard sometimes. So, okay, if you are new and you're just joining us, this is the perfect time to join, because we are moving on to pile number 2. So these are our 3 piles. Pile number 1 was the ring. We just finished that one. If you want to go back and watch that, we're moving on here to pile number 2, which is the shadow. And then the third one is the eternal child, if you're drawn into that one here as well. So pile number 2 is the shadow. And here we go. But I'm just going to take like a brief second here. And we're just going to compassion right out the gate. Compassion. LOL, eldest daughters putting distance between themselves and families and groups. I love that. And for those of you who are new here too, that eldest daughter energy is Jesha, which we get a lot of that energy here. And during the Kali Yuga, maybe this is going into this. this next group here. In the Kali Yuga, Jesha, which is the eldest daughter, is often hidden. And, oh, okay, I get it. It's often hidden. And Jesha is the kind of energy that does a lot behind the scenes and doesn't get any credit and usually is treated very badly. But if you worship Jesha, if you see what she is and you throw herself at her feet, that is a guaranteed way to get a lot of money and a lot of success. So some of you, there's a Jesha individual, I think, that that you may have come across here and may have disrespected, or somebody did, with some kind of secret. Okay, so actually another thing that I'm getting here too, because we're talking about like, let me tell you a secret, you know, like let me reveal a secret to you. So in this shadow card, see how like this overlapping secret, I actually am getting strong conspiratorial energy here between two people. And it does feel like they are of different kind of like qualities and vibrations. But notice this triangle energy almost looks like they're each taking a bite out of each other. So potentially there's a Jesha energy involved that I just described, that elder sister energy that kind of gets disrespected, does a lot behind the scenes. And there's been some kind of conspiratorial energy to keep something from this Jesha individual. And they can't do that without taking a bite out of the other person. So there's been some kind of like hidden wounding, and they're drawn into each other here in order to look in the mirror. But I'm really, the jagged quality of this mirror is like really standing out to me. And their secret's been put on blast is what I'm hearing, or it will be put on blast. This will be known. This is known. It's going to be put on blast. Potentially there is a group that knows about this secret here as well. Yeah. And it's not, this is a hidden enemy. Whoever this is a hidden enemy. Not just to the Jesha individual, because I think these two know that they're a hidden enemy to this Jesha person that does a lot and doesn't deserve this. I heard they don't deserve this, but they don't realize that they're hidden enemies to each other. There's something here like they're bound in their own net. And I just heard order, like something is like being brought to order here. So there could be some kind of disloyal. There could be some kind of court case here this could be child support. This could be somebody cheating on a person that really doesn't deserve this, you know. But there could be some kind of court case, or somebody here is going to be very vocal about this. Yeah. Tense situation. Okay, so I feel like a secret is actually coming out here. So let's see. What deck do I want to use? This might be like some kind of schmegul secret. Look, the shadow. Okay. Spirit, what secret do you want to tell us here? What secret do you want to tell us here? I just heard, oh no, I don't think I'm going to understand. So could have been some kind of ritual done. Heather, thank you so much for the super chat. And it's an alligator? Okay. Hold on. For some reason. There could have been some kind of ritual done here. Okay, there's some kind of union here that might be hidden or like conspiratorial. And for some, it's like, I don't know, because with this gospel energy here in this union, it might be like some kind of marriage. And it's to induce some kind of like fighting. So there's some kind of something here behind the scenes and it's very taboo. So there's a secret here. There's definitely a secret here. Well, obviously, because that's what we're looking into. About why there was space put in between two individuals here. And it's because there's something going on behind the scenes that was taboo. And somebody here was really resisting. There's a lot of resistance. Okay, somebody here I think was picking up on this because there was a resistance to this somehow. Even if they didn't know about it, there was somebody here was like really resisting. Okay, I need a different deck. Actually, I'm going to use the same deck that I used in pile number 1. Okay. Aw. Okay. What is this? What secret? Okay, Spirit, in pile number 2, what secret do you want to reveal? What is the secret here? What is the secret? Strength. Okay, so somebody here secretly feels impotent. And I think it's because they involved in a secret relationship or something, and somebody got their hooks into whoever this person is. This person has strong feelings for someone else, but they actually like secretly feel very ashamed is what I'm getting. They secretly feel very impotent. They could be secretly watching someone and reflecting about the truth. And this could be their partner that they secretly involved with here as well. But they're reflecting on some kind of like hidden truth here, and they're trying to self-protect at the same time. Somebody here feels like very secretly impotent. Okay, that's what I'm getting, is like, I'm ashamed of myself. Okay, I get it. I'm ashamed of myself. I secretly feel really bad. I feel like this is a person who had like a lot of bravado, could have put you in a situation you didn't want to be in, or some kind of third party situation behind the scenes. And now this person is like, I'm sad. Like I am really sad. I feel impotent, because this was like a lot of bravado here in the beginning, and where they felt like they had the stronger position, and something here was the fate lines were changed is what I'm getting. Yeah, there's like a schemer energy. All right, I've picked up on this a lot in the past, I think, like this particular situation. So I feel like there was some kind of secret affair. And again, they couldn't, and it was on some kind of Jesha individual. So this Jesha person, oh, I get it. Okay, so that was, because I saw the Wheel of Fortune in the sun. So I feel like the divine lines of fate, Jupiter energy, it's God force energy, has come in and actually like revealed this Jesha person, because we're coming up out of the Kali Yuga. So this Jesha individual that is hidden during the Kali Yuga now is blooming. So that person is blooming. The truth is now coming out about this situation and about everybody involved in this situation and who this person was involved with behind the scenes. And they're getting, they're getting a better look at themselves in the mirror is what I'm getting. They introduced a sense of competition and unequal give and take. And I feel like this person is telling you now that that is actually their daily reality. Because this person is saying, I'm actually really sad. I'm really depressed. I don't feel strong. I haven't been able to, like somebody here has not been able to grow. So, okay, they're telling me, Jess, you always think about this Jesha energy. Like if you prostrate at Jesha's feet, like you gain this like fortune energy. What happens if you harm her? And I'm like, I don't know, because I never read about it. But I actually think that this is like extreme misfortune. Misdirection is what I'm hearing. There's some kind of, heart-struck energy that somebody here is like moving on and moving away from a certain situation. So I feel like feelings were never really expressed here in this situation. Instead, games were played. Somebody here was like trying to play games with another person. They never really expressed their feelings. And now all this person wants to do is express their feelings, but they can't because they are feeling restricted, possibly because of a situation that they've bound themselves in. This person, like their money is bad. Their health is bad. I think that they're struggling in their career. They're struggling to find their footing, and they don't want you to know this because I feel like whoever this is that we're revealing the secret about is somebody here from your past that disrespected you greatly. Could have been, and it could have, the other side of Jesha, especially when it's a male version, this is like a womanizing energy. So it could have been that a womanizer disrespected this Jesha, or it could be that somebody disrespected Jesha and went off with this like womanizing kind of energy, or whatever the man version, whatever the word for womanizer is for manizer, a manizer. Yeah. Okay. So reveal, this is like deeply secretive energy. And also it's not conscious yet. It's just feelings that are kind of coming up. And I feel like really fuzzy headed. For those of you that are on Patreon, I feel like this ties in with the pile number 1 energy of the last reading. Remember, it was like very fuzzy and it almost felt to me like there was a lot of substance use or something here like that. So yeah, this person is seeing that clearly now. And there's a reflection in the way that their life is and about the way that they feel and the way that they treated this other person. I just heard like I just saw someone like throw a nickel on the table and just be like, that's for the road, and then like leave. I feel like money is bad for this person. Okay, so why are you revealing this, Spirit? I just heard justice. Oh, okay. Because it's the 2 of Cups versus the 6 of Coins. Somebody here could have paid money. Holy shit. There's a feminine energy that could have paid money to a masculine energy to start a relationship here with another feminine energy. That's the secret. There's a feminine energy here who paid a masculine energy money to start a relationship with a feminine energy. Holy shit. In order to defend. Okay, I don't know who this person would be, but it's like they wanted to make this feminine energy anxious. And to make them cry and to make them sad. And so like this person wanted to like defend this person. So, as like a rescuer. So this is very rescuer, victim, persecutor. So a feminine energy here, this Jesha energy was disrespected. Somebody was paid money to harm or disrespect this person so that somebody else, this was like their secret collusion or something. Somebody else was going to come in and like defend this feminine energy against something that and they didn't want the collusion to be known or the collusion to be seen. It also could have been to get this feminine energy. It's very, to make them sad, to make them more. I'm noticing like the veil over her face. And to me, it's very Handmaiden's Tale. It's like to put her in some kind of submissive position or an unnatural position to make her blue. Oh my gosh. Look, there's justice on this. There could have been a contract here and some kind of money here. This also could have been okay, I'm not going very far into this, but this could have been putting something in someone's drink in order to like become victorious here. There's justice energy here. For some of this is an actual court case that's like occurring. Somebody here wanted to profit off of the suffering of a divine feminine energy. And there was some kind of hidden collusion involved in this. And there was a light side that was shown to this feminine, but really there was a secret partnership or secret collusion. For some of this is a secret bet to cut somebody out, to leave somebody out in the cold. And this involves money and heartbreak and betrayal. Okay, so this is the kind of shit that I get so uncomfortable with. I feel like I was blocking this out. So I feel like there could be something here that you don't want to see here about this. Somebody wants to tell the truth about this and they're prevented because they are impotent. They should have known better, or they should have been stronger. And they were in some toxic ass energy in the past here as well. Somebody wants to come clean about this. And it doesn't feel like a person that's necessarily involved in this. So other people may have known about this. And I feel like it's almost been discovered like maybe multiple times, because I'm noticing all these like bullet holes around this. And it's like almost hitting it, but not quite hitting it. That there's some kind of, somebody here is involved in a collusion and doesn't want to be seen to be involved in this collusion. They feel like their hands are tied and they're just watching a situation like unfold with somebody toxic here from their past. There's some kind of collusion or group energy here. So this could, and I'm using the same deck as the deck in pile number 1. So for some of you, this could involve pile number 1. So this could be somebody on the outskirts of this group where somebody realizes that somebody was sent in here to harm this divine feminine, to betray their heart, and it's whatever it was immoral. Like somebody here really left the bounds of morality in order to do this. And they were like sneaking around. And then somebody else, there's another emperor here that's like, I don't know what's going on. What's the truth? What is this? Like, what's the truth of this situation? It's confused someone else here. There was teamwork and collusion here to harm this divine feminine so that somebody else could profit, maybe in their career or in their status, and to confuse an actual emperor in this situation that didn't see the betrayal. Somebody here didn't see the betrayal. It's a secret. There's a secret betrayal here. I'm sorry, guys. This is the kind of energy that's very dark. Spirit, okay. This could have been started by a female energy. There's a collusion to harm a feminine. And they wanted to make quick work of it. And there's a group that's involved here. And there was something to get around a blockage. There's something involved here, whether it's money or something else, in order to get around some kind of authority or some kind of restriction or some kind of blockage. This person was really thinking about this strong, because they were thinking about some kind of 10 of Cups energy. So for some, this is like maybe a mother. Oh gosh, this could be a mother that's trying to get like this divine feminine is her daughter. She's trying to get it back because there's 10 of Cups energy, this happy family trying to put this back. So they could have paid somebody to betray this person, because I'm hearing mother knows best, like just mommy's the one that's going to take care of you, to make the daughter like afraid of the world, or something here like that. There's like some kind of long-term, and for some, this is a mother that like wanted somebody to like, this, okay, only take this if it resonates. Okay, this is some crazy stuff. Wanted maybe somebody to like even impregnate this daughter, because then she knew the daughter would be dependent. And maybe she was even going to pay that person to like leave the picture or something like that. Somebody is really thinking about this. They had this bright idea over like they were watching TV with their dogs, like drinking wine or something. They just, something here to do with an orphan. Leaving somebody marooned, leaving somebody orphaned, leaving somebody hanging, to where this person, there was a plan to do this. There was some kind of plan to do this. To cause an argument. There is possibly even to put together a marriage. So I'm seeing somebody work on like an invitation or something here, like in the background. This just got like super dark. Saying that something needs to change here about this Knight of Wands energy, about not having a plan or not being in and out, or it even could be some kind of schmegsual energy. It's to blame this divine feminine for like something needs to change. And I think they want her to realize this. So they're going to shove a bunch of dark energy at her to say that, so that she comes to the realization that something needs to change. It's so that she willingly flings herself into the hands of somebody that looks like a rescuer, but is actually a persecutor. This is dark, evil shit. Spirit, what else are you blowing the lid on here? They wanted this divine feminine to feel like this. Maybe to feel like she couldn't speak about something, that she had to self-protect. What is this about? Why? Somebody here benefited from this. They wanted her blocked off. Maybe even at the heart space. So for some, this could even be like behind the scenes on a spiritual level. They didn't want her to trust her heart. They didn't want her to follow her heart. For some, it's like they didn't want this person to have love. Because this is somebody, okay, this has been coming out in the readings, where it's like, this is somebody that knows the power of love, knows the control of love. This is somebody that wants control over this divine feminine. I just heard dominant. They want to dominate over this divine feminine energy, in order to play mind games so that they can be in and out, like with this divine feminine energy, and not be held accountable. And so that she's not going to see the truth and the reality of what's going on. Because if she actually finds love, so there could be collusion. Okay. There could be collusion between this, like, I'm kind of getting in that it's a mother figure, because it's a feminine that started this. And then there's a masculine. And so for some, this is actually going on like behind the scenes here in this lifetime. But for others, I feel like this might be something that energetically kind of goes on behind the scenes. This 1-2 punch of this mother figure and this masculine that, or maybe it's this Knight of Wands energy. So it could even be more than one, but it's meant to break this feminine's heart so that this feminine stays on her knees basically, and can't stand up and can't like be in her power, because they're just also sure that she's going to get up and leave this. Yeah. Look, you can't make this up, that she's going to get up and leave this situation. This is a group here as well. So that's what I'm saying is like, at least energetically, this is a binding energy here where they're all, yeah, they want her like this. They want to break her heart. They want their strategy here, their schmegsual strategy. This is an energetic attack. This is an energetic attack where I think for some of you, this is an actual collusion, an actual deal that was struck between, I'm kind of getting like a mother figure and a man, like a son figure, to like go at this feminine in a certain way. Like there was actually money exchanged, I think, for some of you. But for others of you, I think This is shadow. It's a combination of their shadow energies that just naturally kind of colludes and creates this like dark force energy that's shoved at this feminine, and it's very manipulative. And it's sexually strategic. It's the scorpionic energy with the Mars. This hidden group. So for some, this is like an energetically hidden group of like masculine energies. But this remember what I was saying in the first pile about Scorpio being the Mars energy for the feminine? There's this hidden conspiratorial group of like masculines. But I feel like it's almost under the control of a dominant, controlling, gnarly, nasty feminine energy that understands the power of this conspiratorial group, but like is misusing it to put these men together to send towards this divine feminine on some kind of level, to make her cry and to make her go, look, because if this divine feminine turns around, there's the 2 of cups down here by my finger, see? But to get her to go back to where the cups are already spilt out, where blood has been spilt, actually, to get her to return in some way. And to make her think it's a wish fulfillment. Catherine, thank you so much. You have to face, that's it. Thanks, Jess and Alex. You're welcome. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, like to make, and that's these people's wish fulfillment. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 of cups. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the 5 of cups plus the 4 of cups is the 9 of cups. And the 4 of cups notoriously is like not taking the higher cup. They don't want this feminine energy to take the higher cup, which is to find her own voice and to find her own power. There's some kind of behind the scenes collusion, and somebody's waiting to see if it worked, to see if they can draw this feminine back in. But they can't see anything right now because there's been an authority that stepped in. And I feel like the authority is Saturn. This could be an old, I just heard grandfather figure that is blocking the view here actually of this, and actually putting karmic tests in this other person's, oh my gosh. Okay. So Noor just said blood has been spilled, a generational curse, you mean? So this could be a generational curse for sure. Somebody is like trying to look, they're waiting for their ships to come in. So somebody here has put this energy somehow, some way in motion towards this divine feminine energy. This could be spell work if you feel like somebody's involved in that. But I feel like it's an extremely manipulative, corrupted intention. Maybe this mother figure paid someone to put a spell to break, I don't know, maybe for some, like the masculine energy is like just drawn in by a spell of like, just bring the gnarliest, nastiest guy that's going to mistreat this person, you know? And this is crazy. I don't fully understand this. I'm about to draw some more cards. Could the mother be passed over? Absolutely. I think so. Take this however it's resonating, because there is a spiritual component to this of like, oh, because remember at the beginning of this, I just heard, I don't think I'm going to understand this. And so for some of you, it's like the way that our universe operates, the way that these soul groups kind of like form up. I don't think I'm going to understand this. It's like they want to keep this soul trapped. And the way that they keep them trapped is by getting them not to see straight, this feminine, getting them not to see straight and blocking off at the heart. And I feel like this is something that went on during the Kali Yuga, which we're getting out of. And this is a Jesha soul. So they're seen as like a token of good fortune. But they're keeping this hidden. It's like they want to keep this precious stone like for themselves, all these people, but they're not respecting her. And they're bringing their own chaos and misfortune upon their head is what I'm getting. There's something here about this. They want to keep her from her destiny. I don't understand this. It's almost like it's known on some level that this feminine is this 10 of Pentacles. That she's like very rooted and can be very strong, but they have to keep her bound. How do they know about this? Like on what level is this coming in? I do feel it's to keep an emperor and empress apart, which wasn't really answering my question, but there's an emperor that's scratching his head about like betrayal and sexual energy and what's the truth here. And there's been some kind of blockage. There's been some kind of payment. There's been some kind of instigation here. What is this instigation? Tower moment. She could have riled up a masculine energy. I mean, there's some kind of masculine that's like taking a shot to the heart here. This feminine doesn't see it. She's trapped. There's people around her keeping her trapped. This is crazy. So what is the... The secret is this King of Cups energy, that somebody here loves this person. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the secret is that God loves this person and is about to flip the table on this snake energy. So that's another secret that's coming out here. So this is a bunch of negative, dark energy that's been levied at this divine feminine during the Kali Yuga. This is a divine feminine that is in her Jesha energy. So in a way, there's karmic testing here because her energy would naturally be obscured here, I feel like, during the Kali Yuga. The spiritual forces are getting ready to flip the tables, though, on this. So the joke's about to be like on all of these people. I hope this is making sense. It could definitely be spell work. She knows because he's a gossip, okay? Somebody here could be trying to make an apology or give you some kind of drink. Look, there's money exchanged here for a new beginning. To try to get somebody to take a risk, to jump in with somebody else here. So that their apology will be accepted so that they can get around this divine feminine's walls. But all of this it's spell work for some of you, but it's manipulation for others. Because they see a lot of abundance here. They see some kind of abundance here. That they want to gain from. But the joke's on them. There's something here's about to flip the script. And it's because this divine feminine energy, she's getting ready to jump off. I've been gone for a minute now. I'm back with the jump off. Goons in the club. Because this feminine is like gearing up to like make her entrance. I just saw Cinderella show up to the ball. Like she's running a little bit late, but she's going to get there and she's going to be in her like ball gown. I don't really understand what's going on here. Look, Cosmic Coven. So this feels energetic. This feels behind the scenes. And there could also be like a divine, maybe this is us, I don't know. And it's blocking this attempt somehow. It's blocking this corrupted attempt, but in a way where it's like she doesn't even have to see it necessarily coming in. And now this person, this feminine energy that has done this, is confused about the blockage. And they're confused about something here from the past. They want to, they're wondering. And this man that also was paid here to do something is confused why something's not working. Something isn't working here. Either the way that it used to or the way that it was planned to. Something is not working and they're confused about why it's not working. The plan was really to knock this person, possibly monetarily, and to make them feel ashamed about what it is that they are creating. Because this is divine feminine that has something to give to the world. Like whatever it is, and to make her feel ashamed about it or to get her in her head about it so that she would have to come kiss the ring over here to where she was going to get disrespected. But instead, she just yeeted out the back door. I'm crying. Instead, she just found her temperance point and she just like yeeted out the back door and found her victory. And these people are the ones that are being stopped. And I think these people are having their growth restricted. But I honest to God, feel like this is just the energy of the Kali Yuga actually switching. I think these people are like, why didn't this work? Light of Heart Alchemist, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm in love, I'm truth, and I'm divinely protected. Yeah. I just feel like this is the changing of the energies. Like they're not operating in the same world that they used to be operating in. The energies are much different. They don't have the same power and their power is going to dwindle and dwindle. And it's not even necessarily something that's like occurring, just that like the energies of our world are switching and they're getting caught out because Jesha is only hidden in the Kali Yuga. So whoever they thought they were dealing with in this feminine energy isn't who she actually is. It's a part of this testing period where she just kind of like goes into her shell and people disrespect her or they just overlook her in general or try to take credit for her works. That's not normally who she is. Who she really is the queen, basically. I've been gone for a minute now. I'm back with the jump off. Yeah, I've been gone for the Kali Yuga, but I'm back with the jump off. That's what it feels like. And it feels like it's a part of some kind of spiritual testing. I definitely think these people have been spiritually tested. I just heard you have been weighed, you have been measured, and you have been found wanting. Cosmic Coven. I'm wondering if this is us. Somebody's sneaking around our cosmic coven. Or maybe our coven is a group of people like this, that people are like somebody's sneaking around. And I feel like we're different and we're weird, right? Like with this Aquarian energy. And somebody here has been trying to blame us or shade us, or not necessarily as a group, but I look how these two are like connected, but they're back to back and like they don't necessarily see each other, and it's in this kind of like moon space. You know, like we kind of energetically buoy each other and we like kind of bolster each other. That's part of it too. We're not alone is what I'm hearing. We're not alone. And it's because they wanted some kind of orphan energy, but then something here is like growing. We look like we're alone, but it's allowing us to take like the 1 step, 2 step, you know, kind of like together. This is energetic. This is like hidden behind the scenes. I just heard they're saying not divinely guided. It's divinely written to be this way. Yeah, and somebody here was trying to take something from you, basically. Your ideas, maybe. And whoever this is, they've had multiple shocking realizations, multiple like tower moments in their mind where spirit has actually been trying to offer them the cup of spirit's love through the way that they've been involving with this person while this person is eating out the back door. So this person can break with their own negative, nasty behavior and actually move into like their own success. But oh my gosh, look, this is this person's energy. They're just so jealous and they want to like have a grip on something here. There's a feminine energy that paid a masculine energy. They're both very confused. And keep in mind, this is an energy, because I think for most of you, this is a female that paid a male to do something, but the male is like the active principle. So it's like the feminine came up with it kind of a thing. I definitely see a feminine having an idea and then paying like a masculine energy, somebody that's going to actually go do something here to try to get around this blockage and to try to offer somebody something. And they had this is a sick person, like very just sick and twisted in the brain. And they wanted this feminine looking like this, all rumpled and crumpled and sad, so that they could be in charge of her. This could have been going on for a long time, like years. And something watched. Spirit was just like watching this. And there was a lot of confusion about what this was. Like this energy that's like moving behind the scenes. And Spirit is just waiting. See how that snake is like coiled at the bottom? Like it's going to attack that hand. But that's the hand of God. And it's going to flick the snake like right off of this person's destiny. Because that's what they're trying to play around with, this person's destiny. And Spirit is about to just flick this person right off of it. They've been offered the higher cup. They've been offered it, I feel, multiple times. And instead they wanted to argue. They've been shown the way as to how to purify their karma here as well. But instead they just still try to double down. If this is spell work, somebody here could be trying to do something while you sleep. Try to implant like feelings of like family or something, like there's a teamwork, there's trying to steal your ideas or something. This isn't going to work. This person's going to be like very surprised. Okay, so this is definitely, and whoever they're partnering with, somebody here is like in this is seen maybe, or there's an element of this that is seen where it's like, hi, my name is Jill. But then like Joe is behind the scenes, you know? But remember what I said in the beginning, they can't partner together without taking a big old chunk out of the other person. So they have this like deep, dark secret. It's like they're watching this divine feminine's routine or something, or watching her work on something. And they're thinking to themselves, something's got to change. And then like, I'm seeing him want to throw that fireball over there, like at everything that she's creating, to change her fate and her destiny. And maybe to try to steal it. They just this doesn't make sense to me, because I keep being like, why? Like, why? Why spend so much time and energy and money apparently like doing this? And then like it just keeps coming back with this energy, this devil energy. They just want to bind this feminine, or like they just want control over this feminine. But really, they're making their own chains. They're making their own chains. Something here is about to be put an end to. Like there's an abrupt stop here. They think it's coming for this feminine, but they're just going to flow right off a cliff somehow. Like right off of a... And they're just going to be defensive while they watch this feminine just slowly build herself back from the whatever brink they tried to put her on. This could be all of us, and we are like behind the scenes buoyed together somehow. I don't know. Joe and Jill, the Bidens. Do you know the Bidens? I know that some people in here are like very well connected. So, okay, we have to have patience because the 3D takes a little bit of time to come up with the evidence to our faith. Yeah. This is wild. And this person, okay, I'm just letting you know. And I think that you have already, whoever this is, I feel like you've already moved away from them. But this devil energy and like they're trying to come back like this. Like, oh, I've got an idea and here's my little fish and here's my love for you. And I'm just so sweet and innocent. But this is who they really are. That's the energy that they're really in. And they're trying to find like anything that they can grasp onto because she's got this like loop, this like chain loop. And she wants to find something to like hook it onto. Anything. To end you. This is vicious. This is vicious. This is a nasty little tart. I just heard this is a nasty little tart. Maybe you had a tart with this person. Maybe, you know, like that tart energy where you like, maybe you met this person and you were like, ooh, or maybe you had something tart around this person. But there's blockage being put in and possibly an authority. This person's going to have to defend themselves. There's judgment energy that's occurring here. It doesn't feel like it's happened yet. Just yet. Not just yet. This feels like it's coming in soon. Coming soon to a theater near you. So maybe they'll tell us about when this happens. Okay. I do still feel you're encouraged to defend yourself. They're sniffing around whatever this blockage is right now, like at this current time. They're watching you, but they can't see something. There's something that they cannot see. Disloyal. Cold. I think they can't see this about themselves, that they're disloyal and cold, but okay, anything else that wants to come out? They're near. They're okay, but this flipping is also near. Except major. Okay, so they need to accept that there's a major change coming in the energies. Like, there's no stopping this. This is beyond just two people. This is like, you know, we're moving into the age of Aquarius, and the way that the universe structures itself is just, it's switching up. Like, that's just the way that it is. That's what this person's trying to fight against. It's not like anything between you and this person. It's the true nature of your energy was contained within the Kali Yuga so that people could undergo their spiritual testing. You're coming up out of that. There's nothing that's going to stop that. And you're the more powerful energy here. And whatever they know to be you is just you and the Kali Yuga doing the thing you were contracted to do in the Kali Yuga. They need to accept that. They need to be peaceful in the situation and not combative. They need to accept that you are the major energy here, that you're not the junior energy, and you never were. They were being tested, and they need to accept that that's the truth of something here. They're trying to quickly conceal something here about their past. They're making it worse. Okay, if they're trying to conceal something about their past or their past involvement in this, they're making it worse. And I just heard thank you. So they're getting themselves caught. They've basically just planted evidence somewhere. Like whatever they moved or whatever, they just alerted somebody to the fact. Like if they try to hide stuff, they're alerting somebody to the fact that something exists. Because it's like, oh, I found this in your trash. Because there's an investigation and I'm looking in your trash. And maybe I would never have found this if you didn't put it in your trash. And also I know that you were trying to hide it because you put it in your trash. You know, it's something here like that. So anyways, this was a ride. This was a wild ride. And again, I go back to what I first said, like, oh, I don't think I'm going to understand this. And I had a fear in my heart of like, I think I'm going to get messages that I'm not going to be able to understand. And I think this is like behind the scenes energy that's gone on here. Whoo, girl, compassion. Compassion. Auto parts. I always do that because my mind is where like advertising jingles from the 90s and the early 2000s go to die, but there could be something to do with auto parts here. That was so on point. I'm so glad, but also I'm not glad because that is like insane. This man is an Aquarius rising with Sun and Rahu there. Ain't it fun living in the real world? Ain't it fun living in the real world? I can sing a jingle. You connected the dots for sure. Okay, and it was hard for me. And remember when I was saying like the Om Mani paid me home? And actually, weirdly, I do feel like this, for some reason, is like what these people need to reach their enlightenment. Some of these people are going to end up in jail. Like they need some form of like some kind of incarceration. But, you know, I've been shown that like when there's golden eras and like golden age energy, which I don't know how, girl, but like I think somehow we're like headed into that, like with the light side of things. These nasty, nasty souls, they get tested because they don't qualify in. But if you incarnate during a golden age where everybody's got their head on straight, you can actually progress very quickly and without a lot of pain and trauma and suffering, because you have teachers that walk upon the earth and we're all still learning lessons, but we're like holding hands and singing kumbaya, like, you know, and these people have not qualified into that. Because if you let somebody like that into the group, it's like letting a weasel into the hen house. They're going to kill everything. So they have to qualify in to being in these spaces energetically. So energetically, they don't qualify in because that's what makes a golden age is like the higher vibrational souls, and only the higher vibrational souls are incarnating during that time. There is less confusion. You know, people are actually going towards the truth and towards love and towards the light. And so because of that, we can all share the things that we know in a way that's cooperative and productive. This person is like, they're somehow jailed or incarcerated. So I don't know if that's like, well, you just have to be isolated over here while everybody gets to go to the pizza party. I'm sorry. You know, it's like that kind of energy. Or if these people are actually literally, some of them actually going to jail, especially if there's actual money that was exchanged here, this could all be coming out into the light. And it might be actually very sudden or very shocking in a way that they couldn't have, I think in a way that they did something that led like I just heard like the authorities or something like right to them. They actually did something because they were so focused on you and whatever it was that they were trying to do that it actually alerted somebody to like go after these people if they actually did something in the actual world where this is an actual conspiratorial energy where there was actually money exchanged. They basically led people right to them. And it's going to surprise them. It's going to seemingly come out of nowhere, like out of left field. And the energy is just going to like switch up and it's going to fling this snake. Touching the jaguar. Yeah. Hitman called from jail. Oh my gosh. That woman will go to jail. Jess, a book on the nakshatras to recommend with all the good Okay, so I think the best place to start is Kamala Sutton. She has a book on the nakshatras and it's easy to understand, and it's like it's a lot of information, but like it's easy to understand. But I love her work, and she teaches classes and things like that. Okay, I didn't know about hexes and spiritual attacks until I've lived through it. The closer I get to the more things came, but I can feel God moving in my life. You know what? Honestly, the same. But that's been my entire path with spirituality. Like I've always been that person that's like, I don't know. And then like, I'll have like an experience of it kind of thing. I was blocking this out too. Yeah, this is like some wild shit. And also the moon is like full in the sky now. There's definitely a timing bit to this, but it's like over a long period of like a geological age where something here is like come fully into the light. These people also could have gotten very brazen. This is just even energetically brazen. They're the cause of their own undoing. The Book of Nakshatras by Prash Trivedi is good too. She paid. This is so crazy. That was wild. That was crazy. Okay. Moving on from that. Happily ever after. Justice, justice, justice. The universe bringing justice. Yay. I feel like I'm in a video game, to be honest. Oh my gosh, that's when I first went to New York City, that's exactly how I felt too. Maybe New York City is relevant. Okay. If you are just joining us, this is a good time to join us because we're moving on to pile number 3, which is the Eternal Child. We've already done the first 2 piles if you want to go back and rewatch them. So we're moving into this Eternal Child energy over now. Oh, man. Geologically, we're discovering America was Egypt. Interesting. Okay. Pile number 3. Okay, somebody said that song. It's like, Ain't It Fun by Paramore. Living in the real world. Ain't it cool? Ain't it cool being all alone? So it could be a child here that's feeling like very alone, but's like very happy. Maybe for some of you, this is you. But let me just see. Oh, okay. All right. So somebody here feels really sorry. This is, I guess, a secret that's being revealed. Somebody here feels really sorry about a push-pull dynamic. I feel like I'm hearing, use my best colors for your portrait. Like somebody here is trying to make something. But this is really sweet energy that's coming through. And I don't know what's going on here, but this is a very sweet energy, like a soft, tender energy. And it feels to me like somebody made like a pretty picture or a pretty something for you. And there's some push-pull energy, power struggles, imbalance, and stubborn. Somebody here just wants to say, I was really stubborn and I created some kind of like push-pull energy between the two of us. But I'm hearing like, I feel this like eternal knot to you. And I'm seeing there was this display at a Burning Man a while ago now, but it was these giant children made out of like mesh material, and they were sitting like sad with their backs like together. And then, or no, it was adults. The adults were the big mesh thing. And then there was 2 little kids like just trying to touch hands, you know? And I feel like this person's trying to reach out with their like, I just heard, I'm sorry. With the eternal child energy there. And they're just trying to be like sweet. And I think they're trying to like express or something, like just that they're sorry. And that there was some kind of push-pull energy. And maybe this is with their inner child. I feel like this person was feeling some kind of way about reconciling something here in the past. So they were avoiding it. Yeah. This person feels like they should have contacted you, or they should have invited you over to play or something like that, you know? But there's something, they were feeling guilt about like this mirror situation because there was some distortion that they didn't see, or this person could struggle with self-esteem, or I'm really getting like a mental health issue actually with all this fuzzy energy and the moon energy. There was some kind of secret. I think the secret was their mental health issues. Not that there's not other secrets here, but and the secret was that they were feeling guilt. They're feeling sorry. They wanted to apologize to you, but they were feeling remorseful and they were feeling ashamed. But actually, I feel like the fact that this person was feeling guilty was actually distorting certain things out. So they now want to apologize. I don't know that this person wanted to apologize in the past. I think maybe they just wanted to obscure certain things. For some, this person could have blamed you, or they were leading with power dynamics when they should have been leading with love, with the internal child, and they should have been bringing like happy energy and this like sun energy instead of the moon energy. They should have been like declaring themselves instead of like hiding in some kind of like secretive existence. And that was just them like avoiding. And they were avoiding intimacy with you. I don't know if I can show this one on YouTube, but it's like they were avoiding like actually being vulnerable is what I'm getting. And they were being very selfish. This person really wants to own up to something here, whoever is coming through. And that's the secret here. A secret here is that they're at rock bottom because they got caught, and it could have been you that caught them. Their secret was exposed, and this person feels like they had egg on their face, ashamed, backfired, and got caught. And you know, egg is a funny thing because it's so nourishing, and it's like a symbol of home and nourishing, and yeah. So this person maybe, I just heard that Backstreet Boys song, The Call. This person should have maybe given somebody the cold shoulder when they called them. But also this person could have tried to call you, maybe from a unknown number, like a block number or something, and you gave them the cold shoulder. I feel like this person has been spying on you. And they think that maybe you have different beliefs or something, but this person is recognizing that you're giving yourself a lot of self-love. They feel a lot of guilt. This person is determined. They're still holding on to you. They feel very persistent. But I feel like this person could be struggling with their job. I just heard 7 years bad luck, but I also just heard Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson. Since You've Been Gone. So this person could have felt like they had perpetual bad luck, like ever since they turned away from you, or ever since they did what they did, or they didn't come clean about it. Yeah. They feel like they left you in the dark. Look, but this, like, they want to heal things. This person could be attached to a friend group that they only keep in contact with because they are hoping that you go back there. Black Jewel, thank you so much for the super chat. This keeps coming out. This like Aquarius energy, and this person is trying. There's a lot of sun energy here, where this person is trying to shine their light, like maybe at to draw gravity to like pull you back in order to like heal the situation. Because they know that you left in some kind of sadness. You left because of what they did to you. You left in some kind of sadness because something wasn't working for you anymore. And then they feel like you got your wish, like you got some kind of wish fulfillment. But also this person is saying that you were their wish. And I feel like you've been their wish for a really long time. But I just heard I was too stupid to realize it, or I was too stupid to admit it until you were gone. And like there's some kind of tower energy realizing that you're gone and realizing just how much water has been put under the bridge. Because I feel like this person wasn't thinking about what they were doing. This person knew that they like owed you an apology, but I feel like they just kind of, I'm seeing that fuzzy energy here, like the static, where like they did whatever they did and then they were guilty. So then they tried to like block that out in their mind. And then I feel like time was a void, you know, it was like, yeah, they didn't really know what they were doing. And so now they were trying to consider their options. There's a lot of option considering energy here with this person. But also like I think this person tried to maybe move on as well. And they were trying to make their options seem better than they actually were. But like, yeah, you were the better option. There's like a lot of happy, jovial energy and warm energy between the two of you. And casual energy between the two of you here as well. Yeah, there's no competition. Like, there's no choice. Like, you guys are the lovers. Like I said, there's a lot of red, like, that's been coming out. But it feels, like, very warm and and that was just, like, very passionate energy. And this person just feels stuck. They just feel stuck. They're missing you. They're dreaming about you. They dream about making the situation better. I think they dream about sending you some kind of invitation to a group, or, like, seeing you in a crowd or something like that. Because they want something here to seem, like, serendipitous. But it's, like, they're trying to call to you. Like, I feel, I think literally some of you, this person might be trying to call to you, but they feel like maybe this would shock you because you are away from them, because they're trying to make it, they're trying to make it fair. They're trying to pray. I feel like this person could be praying to God to try to bring you back. But you are in this energy where you're trying to heal and you are getting a different perspective on things, and you're in your heart space energy here as well. And maybe your spiritual energy, and this person might know that you're into tarot because like she's got all the runic symbols like around her. And so this person might know that you're into that, like into meditation. This person could try to connect with you when you're meditating, or like I'm really getting like this person is trying to put messages like around you so that when you meditate or like right before sleep or something like that, like you just get all these messages here from this person that like, you know, it's like, I love you, I'm thinking about you. Like, I think this person's trying to pour like nice energy around you. And they're just waiting for you to get the message, and they feel like they can't get your attention. But I feel like some time has gone by here, and you're definitely in a mode of healing. Yeah. You definitely left somewhere to start some kind of new beginning. Alexa, play Praying by Kesha. Yeah, I definitely think this person's praying. This person has definitely, like, money problems keep coming up for this person. Like or just realizing that they're lacking. Maybe that's what went wrong in the past, is like maybe this person didn't have money, or they were trying to pretend like they're the big man, gotta take care of the 3-4 kids. They were just defensive about you walking away for sure. But this person like always kept a fire burning for you. But also, I don't know. There's something about this 8 of Cups to me. It's like the swampy energy looks like very sickly. I don't know, it just gives me that like Lady of the Lake kind of vibe. Oh, the lake. Remember, I always see you in the river. Not in a good way. So you got up out of this river. So let that be a sign. If some of you are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to, I don't want to have to go through this cycle again, like with all these nasty people. You definitely like went towards your own sun energy. Yeah, this person just doesn't know if like what they have to say is good enough. But basically that's the secret here. There could be a child here, like some kind of secret child. For some of you, there's a child, like a spirit baby behind the scenes that's somehow connected to that life that you were in the river and like also here. And that's trying to like pull the situation back together. They're just waiting for you to come back. But you're defensive. Okay, now you're defensive. This person, I don't know. It's like they didn't realize this in the past. I don't really think this person could see past the nose on their face in the past because they were just so busy trying to numb out from all the guilt that they felt from what they did to you. I think this person had an idea in their mind about maybe they would make a lot of money and then that would be what they were offering, but that's not what you're interested in from this person. Yeah, you recognize that things were not equal or fair. And you think that this person fantasizing about having a lot of money that they're going to come back with is them continuing the dynamic between the two of you, which is like an unequal give and take. You just want something that's fair and balanced, and you want an end of the old cycle really badly. And I feel like for a lot of you, you've taken this on yourself. You're like, no, I'm giving myself freedom and I'm moving on. I see like a bright future and you found your balance point. So for a lot of you, I don't know that you want this back. For some of you, this is multiple people in a group that are feeling this way. So I think Spirit is just letting you know that this is a secret, that you actually leaving this group or this person, take it however it resonates, had some kind of healing effect. Like it caused this tower moment to the heart space. Is really, I keep seeing that throughout all of the piles, this tower moment to the heart space of like, I should have been leading with this like playful child energy. And instead I had this like secretive, distorted energy. And that's what I'm seeing, like the shard through the hearts kind of thing. Yeah. There was a thought here of like trying to get money to bring you back, to like somehow bait you back. And they still wanted that spiritual union. But I feel like this is not that. Like you're healing from that because you're fine on your own. A lot of you are going to be very successful on your own. It's not going to work because this person has to come back correct or they have to not come back at all. So that's their new choice that they have to make because you've completed this cycle. You've completed this cycle. I feel like all by yourself, all by your lonesome. I feel like you have. And this is like a lot of inner child wounding. If you have children or if you will have children, these children are not going to repeat these. If this is like a family curse or something, you've broken the back of whatever this is. And if you need some reassurance like about that, you have broken the back of it. This is a very happy secret, I feel. Yeah. So let's just see. Anything else? They want to offer you their cup of love, but you are actually the one offering this cup of love energy. And yeah, you went on your own here. You went on a journey of healing on your own. And now I feel like somehow energetically your energy is these are the they got caught in the web of their own strategy. And I feel like these people, because for some of you it's a person and for some of you it's people, but they're crying. Their strategy hurt themselves. And I just saw like this broken mirror energy as like smashed up glass, like all under her feet. And it's like they're having to walk over this broken glass, which I feel like is the cups that are spilt between the two of you in order to, they're like crying and they're weeping and it's so much pain, like them trying to like, because they didn't clean up their own mess. So now they're having to walk across their own mess to like basically get to you. Yeah. And they're, I just heard force quit, like on the computer, like just force quit. They're force quitting this cycle. Not like, I don't know, some kind of higher energy has come in. It's like force quit this cycle. I knew it. Some kind of higher energy came in. So, oh my gosh, praying by Ketcha. I just said, I don't know if you've been praying. For some of you, this is like a huge intentionality that I have in my truth serum candles is to unearth the truth of a situation, to cut the cords, not just to necessarily like just willy-nilly cut them, but I just feel like you will want to cut a lot more of them if the truth is actually like exposed. So that's like to unearth whatever the truth is. And I feel like that might be this force quit energy for those of you that have those and like, or that you're using that as a part of your prayer, or I'm picturing some of you praying over those, or like with the intention cards. I'm not trying to plug my products, but I am also because I believe in them. But yeah, and it's actually putting up some kind of blockages with any like negative or interfering. This higher force I'm talking about, this higher force has somehow been called in, in order to make way for love, actual love energy. And there's a lot of protection here because this is Pusha energy. Pusha is like a very protected, auspicious energy. Some say there's a few nakshatras that people say are like the most auspicious, but Pusha is definitely one that gets thrown around as this is like the most auspicious nakshatra. And you're definitely, I just heard chop wood, carry water. So like, I feel like you are protected. You are protected. You're not going back. That's the thing. Is like, I really strongly feel like you're not going back. They are being forced to walk over the broken glass that they like got everywhere to move towards you in order to bridge the gap here. And possibly they're having to mirror your actions. So I feel like you had a lot of love for this person or for this group or for something here. You had a lot of love for that and it didn't matter because it was bad for you. So you had to like move away. I feel like these people are having to do that with the influences and the groups and the associations and the relationships that they have been involved with that are very karmic, that, it's not love. Is what I'm hearing. Like there was some kind of illusion energy, and this illusion energy was it sprouted up from them not taking responsibility for whatever they did to you, because they didn't want to have to look at that's the truth that this person has been trying to outrun. So it just distorted their mind. There literally could be some mental health issues here, but and this is strongly to do with like a home energy and an eternal child energy. They tried to convince themselves that they were happy and they bought into someone's bullshit. So if this person had a child with somebody like after you, they bought into this person's bullshit. They thought that this person was like the moon, but it's because this person was maybe trying to trick them. But this moon is like no longer full. I'm seeing like it's like a waning moon. It's going to be like a dark moon. Like this person, maybe like it's very cyclical, but this person wasn't seeing that because they were so invested in outrunning the truth, which is that they knew that you were their person and that they knew that they were just continually disrespecting you. And if this person got involved with this other person to the point they put this person up on I just heard they were celebrating their virtue over yours. Like they were putting this person up on a pedestal, and that is hugely disrespectful in this connection. And if they had a child with this person or a home or a family, it's hugely disrespectful, like to the innocence of your connection. And this person is realizing that they basically fell prey to this person's bullshit because they were distorting themselves about the mirrored secret energy here, that you could feel at the very least a secret energy here, and that they were not protecting like their own innocence, and they were not leading with that space of innocence. And this person's having to be confronted with that because they really only have their self to blame. This is an obvious lie. Whoever they got involved with is obviously a bad person. Like they're obviously a bad egg. And there could have been some level of teamwork, or there could have been like they were wooed by some kind of money. But they had to end things with you. This is a devil cup, is basically. They had to end things with you because to go towards this person is naturally to move away from you and to move away from accountability energy, innocence energy, their emotions. This person always knew that they were drawn to you. It's just that they were shitty, and then they didn't want to admit that they were shitty. And so that distorted and confused everything. Yeah, and it changed their fate. But I feel like this person like went towards this snake energy, but then the divine, there's been some kind of energy that's come back in to say like, are we done? Are we done with this farce? Like kind of, yeah, this is a functioning dysfunction and you got to be the captain of your own ship and move away from this here. I feel like whoever this is could be putting blockages up to whoever that person is that they're with. And it's confusing that person as well. There could be legal documents here, and that's part of this person's penance. This person should never have involved this other person as well. I do think and while this person is trying to, they are trying to trick them. They are trying to trick them to like pull them down their path here. This is innocent. This should have never gotten involved. There's quite a bit of karma for involving a child in this situation based on their own illusions. There's quite a bit of karmic debt here. Yeah. Yeah, because this... Damn, because this child has to kind of go through this now. There's something this child is getting initiated into this illusion energy and possibly some kind of emotional energy, and they're an innocent, and they have this natural sun energy. They can do it. It's kind of the same way all of us have to confront our family curses. So basically this child got initiated into some kind of family curse energy where there's an emotional health issue, and it's linked to this illusion in the father and the moon, the mind energy of the mother. And so this child has to kind of overcome that. I feel like something here happened very quickly, but again, like it's just because this person's not dealing with it. So that's a secret. Yeah, this person was secretly involved with this person, and there's a child here. And this was a painful ending. So as soon as this happened, I feel like it ended the fate line with you. Yeah, this is a huge betrayal. But it is a painful ending. It is an ending of a painful karmic cycle from your past. This person made themselves a karmic to you. It's like they weren't a karmic, but it's like they made themselves a karmic. Look, the Lovers. They chose somebody else over you, but what they chose was, this is like Jesus being tempted on the mount. They chose like work energy or status energy. And they just, I keep hearing that. They believe someone's bullshit. That they believed that somebody here was innocent. And really it was a death energy. And it killed the energy between the two of you. And that was where actual innocence lived. They were tempted and then they got caught by the devil. Uh-oh. And this was like a betrayal. Also, for me, the Three of Swords is contract energy because it's Saturn in Libra. So there's and the contract between the two of you was loving. It was a painful ending and a betrayal to that energy. And now I feel like this person is getting betrayed. But they're also in a karmic contract. They're in a contract with this karmic somehow to where now they're being betrayed. But this is just the energy turning around because the nature between the two of them has always been betrayal. It's always been built on lies, illusions, outrunning guilt. And so I think this karmic also might be outrunning something because they match in that way. And so they needed this masculine in order to, or this feminine, take this however it resonates, in order to like hide behind their guilt. So this karmic is guilty of something. And it maybe has to do with a family and possibly a child. They're guilty of something here in their past. And they needed a quick exit. And I've picked up on that before. And so they quickly diluted this person, but they were so susceptible because this person has made themselves an enemy of truth. So, oh, it's gross between them. If you are at all intimidated by this karmic, what they have to offer in terms of like looks or anything, this is like it's like a demon on the inside. All they have is, all they have is that's all they have to offer. They're not actually like a good person or anything. And so long as this person is betraying you in this energy, until they clear that up, there's a blockage between the two of you. I feel like this person, the secret is that what they were doing, whatever they were doing with this person, while they were waiting on you to come back. Because they always felt like you were their divine person. And so they just got swept away with whatever this like devil energy is. And they just thought that you were going to come back. They thought that you were going to chase after them. But as soon as they had this child with this person, as soon as like this is ended between the two of you. Because of this is an enormous betrayal. This person's treating this like it's casual. This broke your heart, and this is an enormous betrayal. And it was also a betrayal of the contract between the two of you. Because you came in here and you basically said you want to fuck with other people, or it could even be this specific person. Because this person could have betrayed you with this specific person in a past life. And it was like, if you're going to fuck around, I just heard fuck around and find out. So if you're going to fuck around, you're going to fuck around and find out. If you do anything like in secret here, you're going to fuck around and find out. And it's I think this person felt that contract energy between you very strongly, but didn't understand that they broke it. They got caught in their own trap. But it's sad. This is a very sad story because there's like a lot of love here, but this person's like just confused. And it's all because they don't take responsibility for themselves. And whoever they're with, this karmic reflects them. They have to stare in the mirror. And I think it reflects the relationship that they had with a parent, like a mother, I think, where they felt like this relationship that they're in, I feel like they are like an eternal child in this relationship kind of thing. So he was supposed to protect you in this. Yeah. And I have messages that are coming out that mirror this one more closely that are coming out like in the messages that come out on the daily. that I feel like plug into this one, but he started another loop. Yeah, but you're severed from him. So his decisions are his own. He has to get himself out. I'm seeing from Practical Magic where like the aunts, like the older aunts, they're like more versed in the magic, but the Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman, they aren't, and they get themselves like in a bunch of trouble, and so then the aunts leave, and it's like a difficult lesson for them to learn. And so when they realized that they were gone, the tiny little children, they were like, yeah, they left you a message, clean up your own mess. And I feel like that's this person. They want you back, but this person has a lot of clearing up to do. They have a lot of clearing up to do with this like weird little branch that they need to stop lying to themselves about this karmic. They're nasty. They've always been nasty. And they have to protect this child now. And protecting this child, I think, is going to do a lot to clear up their own inner child and to do like a lot of their own heart healing. But this is an independent path now because they've orphaned themselves from the contract of you. And they can't come back around in your energy until, and I mean, I feel every scrap, every crumb of this karmic is going to be gone from their space. This karmic is going to walk past this person on the street and this person wouldn't even turn their head to look. I feel like there's something here like that where it's like you want to be getting involved with idiots and you think that's funny and you think you're going to keep that a secret. It's not a secret. You've broken the contract here. So it feels like they've got to clear that up to such an extreme degree. They're going to bring this all the way down to neutral is what they're going to do. And they're going to do it without your assistance. And they need to start dealing in reality. They need to start seeing people for who they are, because this is a treacherous karmic, a cruel karmic. There could have been some kind of partnership with a mother figure or a family behind the scenes here, or they betrayed their own family with motherhood somehow, or like with this child, or like this, I don't know. There's some kind of deeply, it was like dark side of the moon, but now it's like, it's kind of always been there, but it's been, something here has been like aired out into the light. And they have to understand what they colluded with. And first and foremost, they colluded with the dark energy within themselves. So, and they're not a child anymore. Like this person, I think they always take this victim stance because they're like, well, I'm just this sweet, innocent child. Like, no, you're grown, baby. You're grown. You're out here making decisions. You're not this like sweet, innocent child. And I think whatever this is, they've gotten themselves in a dynamic where it's like more parent-child, like, in this. And it's because they like the escape button kind of thing. And they have to stop liking that escape button so much, and they have to start taking accountability for themselves. This person really has no idea how fully and truly they've nullified the contract between the two of you. I'm feeling tear energy kind of come through, like when they start to kind of think about that or realize that they could have had it all with you, but that they did whatever they did here behind the scenes. And they thought it was behind the scenes, but Spirit is saying, you nullified the contract and we saw everything and we're not bringing you back together. So yeah, there's like, again, this is somebody who likes to play around with their choices, and they made this energy seem like it wasn't devilish in themselves because they made this energy seem like it wasn't bad. And you had to grieve this. You're going to move on though. This person's going to go through a period where they're just praying to be let back into their energy. And I'm literally hearing this person's guide teams like, stop praying about it. Get yourself out. The answer to your prayers is to get yourself out. You want this person back. You getting yourself out of this is you building up all of the skills and it's pulling yourself out of delusion, getting acquainted with reality. When you're reacquainted with reality, you need to start learning skills. Relationship skills. This is the path to getting back in this person's good graces. There is no shortcuts. Nobody's just going to magically open the door for you. This isn't a matter of feeling, because this person's like, I feel a lot of love for this person. I was just confused. Do better. This person needs to do better, because this person has convinced themselves that their negative energy, what they did to break your heart here, they are making it seem better than it actually was. This is devilish. And they can see that reflected in the karmic. Whenever they are awakened to who this person actually is that they've partnered with, then they're going to realize kind of the negative energy because they've manifested it outside of themselves so that they can better learn about it, So they're going to have to, and learning, like getting away from this karmic is probably going to be a hard task. And cause like divorcing narcissists and stuff, like that can just be difficult. And so this person's going to get to know that energy. Because I think they presented as very innocent. They're not. And this person presented as innocent. They're not. So they're going to get acquainted with that. And they need to learn how to do better. This person's going to walk every single step back to you. Every single one. They're not receiving assistance. No, there's going to be no doors that magically open up because of the level of damage that has been caused here. And this person needs to get very real about that. About the level of damage that this person just kind of excuses. They're like, oh, it's not a big deal if I'm over here flirting with this person. Oh, this isn't a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal what happened here. So, yeah. They had deceptive, sneaky energy reflected back at them. But it's going to, I feel for a lot of you, this is a man. And that deceptive, sneaky energy looks different when it comes up through a female form and a masculine form. So he's got to see it reflected back in an energy where he's like, he understands it in himself. Like, this is what happens when I'm sneaky, you know? And he feels like he's an honorable thief, you know? That's what he feels like. Well, he's about to get acquainted with a dishonorable thief. And I feel like this person's going to spew a bunch of nonsense about why this comes from an innocent space within them. And they can very clearly see that it doesn't. And that actually this was really underhand. Or actually this was really fucked up. Like, they're going to see that and they're going to be like, oh my gosh. And they have to make the connection that they are one and the same. Like, with ever who this karmic is. That's what they did. You know? So I feel like there's a betrayal over here. But I don't know that it can be seen until they start to get real with this. And for some, it is like, it could be a hidden family. But for others, it's a secret association with a family, that their family maybe sent them towards this person, or with a secret group, or with a mother. It could even be their mother, where it's like this person and their mother have a secret alliance and sent, you know, it's like there's some kind of betrayal, and it went on behind. I feel it mirrors almost exactly your situation. It went on behind the scenes. They thought it was light energy. They thought it was love energy, but really they betrayed this person. And it mirrors almost exactly like what went on here. So they've got to clean up their mess. They've got to clean up their mess. All right. So that was pile number 3. Oh, that was sad. Mirror. Getting comeuppance, maybe a little justice energy. Interesting. Comeuppance. In a dream, source showed me he will come back to me on his knees begging for forgiveness. I've seen that several times in the messages that I've channeled. Somebody crawling on this glass energy on their knees. Like, I saw somebody climbing to somebody's door on their knees. Like, just kind of coated in blood. Like, I feel like there's a lot of pain. This person caused you a lot of pain. And they have to. It's like they don't understand the extremity of it until they have had to walk themselves back. And this, I feel like whoever was doing this, they didn't realize what they were doing. They were just excusing it. They were just saying, this comes from an innocent space within me. This is not a big deal. And so they got like really far carried upstream, and they're like, you don't think it's a big deal to be 2.7 miles upstream until you walk every inch of that back on your knees. And that's what they're going to be made to do, so that they never do that again. They don't excuse their bad behavior. It was so flippantly like excused within this person. I think he's gay but afraid to tell me. Interesting. My ancestor said, I'm done with this contract for this lifetime because of his karmic actions. I'm strongly getting that. I do think there's 2 strong soulmates, but I feel like you're done with this contract, not just for this lifetime. It feels like maybe up to 7 or something. He has to understand, or she, whoever did this, has to understand just what they did and just how fucked up they are and just how far off of their path they got. And nobody's going to help them get back. The same way nobody helped them. This person blew past signs. Like, they just kept, and it wasn't a big deal. It was like warning, warning, warning. And they were like, not a big deal, not a big deal. Yeah, we just put these warning signs up for absolutely no reason. This person was getting these like intuitive hits, and you were left to pay the bill. That's also part of the reason why this is so fucked up, is because your heart was being hurt in the process, or would have been. That's, for some of you, this person wasn't allowed back in your energy, because to see what they've been up to would have hurt your heart so much that it's like, you will clean all of this up. She's not to be involved in this, or he's not to be involved in this, kind of a thing. But this person was just like, oh, this is not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's such a huge deal that it broke the spiritual contract between the 2 of you. So I will have new, better people. And yes, you will. You're a tarot reader who didn't realize you read. I bet he wishes his messages get through to me through my own readings. Nice. I gave so much. She's hiding so much. She hurt my 8-year-old. She's out. Yeah. Interesting. Oh my gosh, Christina just said, can we all send love to the children hurt in this as well? That's what I was getting. Like, I do feel there's actually children that are wrapped up in this. Remember I was saying, like, they're the innocent ones here? And they weren't thinking about what they were doing to their child here as well. Like, we all have karmas around that because women are the portals into this world, and then men are the keepers of the seed. So before you even bring a child in, that's why family planning is so important, and like making sure that you have a stable like situation underneath you. All of that's karmic to the children that you bring in. And that's what I'm saying, like, oops, whoopsie, like this doesn't matter. Like, it matters absolutely to this child, you know? Like, so yeah, definitely like sending love out there to the innocent children that are wrapped up in this and whose parent was just like, oh, this isn't a big deal that I do this to you, and that I'm writing checks that your ass has to cash, basically. Whoopsie, sorry, my bad. Not even my bad, because they didn't even think that there was anything like kind of wrong with it, what they were doing. They just don't think about other people. There's really not a lot of consciousness in what this person does, but it's all because they're trying to outrun guilt, and they're trying to outrun culpability and responsibility. So they don't want to look at how bad their behavior actually has been, because this is a person that really does, they don't recognize how bad their behavior has been and how much it's hurt people. And because of that, this can almost be, you know, somebody who does like really extremely bad stuff, like they know their behavior is bad. This person almost like doesn't know that what they do is as bad as what it is. So, all right, moving on here to the general messages. And then I'm going to eat my tacos. Yeah. Compassion. Yeah. I just want to say, like, this is the energy of denial too. Like, because people are saying, like, yeah, you don't put like innocent stuff, and we all get wrapped up in karmic shit. Like, and so much of the time, like, we're in denial about it because we don't want to have to confront like who we are. And so like this person is learning their own karmic lessons, and you know, we all have our own karmas that we have to work through, and you know, we've all hurt the innocent in some way. You know, I'm not talking about in these extreme ways. Yeah. All right. I'm glad.
Have we had a glass break?
What?
Essie, have we had a glass break?
We have. I just put some on. Okay, let me just have a little drink here. I think this is part of like, okay, let's talk about this compassion again, because I have recently become acquainted with my own anger. I know you guys can tell. Hold on. And to me, it feels like it jives with my compassion energy. But remember, it's like we have to have compassion for the victims. And a lot of times that looks like being angry. And anger can have that like purifying kind of quality to it. But I don't like when I feel that way. And so part of me tries to run away, I think, from acknowledging certain situations in our world too, where it's like, oh my gosh, I can't look at that because it makes me feel angry. And then I feel like a bad person because it brings up this like place that I don't know. Like, I just don't like feeling that kind of energy. And I also don't like condemning other people because, like, you know, at the same time, it's like we all make mistakes, you know, but it's this dance between like, yeah, we all make mistakes, but we are responsible for our behaviors and we have to try to do better. Like, when you know better, you do better. And a lot of people do understand that, but that's the energy of like denial and repression, is that they don't want to know so that they don't have to do better. So they don't have to confront and like overcome. And I'm not saying, do you even hear, like, I'm saying they, but this is like this is what the ego does, right? Like, and all of us have an ego, and the ego has a function, and it uses these defense mechanisms to preserve its own self-image. And this is why, like, the ego is often, you know, seen as the enemy or whatever in spirituality, is because it's trying to preserve your self-image so that you can function in the world. But you've got to, you need to get hit, like, a lot of times with your self-image so that you can deal in the reality, you know, of who you are. Because living in that space creates that delusional mindset where you just think that your shit doesn't stink and that there's nothing wrong with these tiny, like, you know, these people that are like, oh, this isn't a big deal that I'm doing this or that, or this is what happens in the world. It's also this mindset of like, well, my parents did this or that. And it's like, we should all be trying to do better, right? You remember how hard that was. So like, what can we all do? And I know it's like, it's asking a lot. It really is. It is asking a lot out of people sometimes, but I don't know. It's hard to navigate these waters. But just as much as like we can show compassion for people who perpetrate things on other people, we can show compassion to the victims too by saying like, this is unacceptable, Yeah. So, yeah. It helps people to know your anger. I feel like that's been a part of my life's journey because I always try to hide my emotions because it makes me feel too vulnerable to show my emotions, any of my emotions, especially if I feel something like really, really strong because it feels just like, I don't know, intimate. Like, oh, you know a lot about me. If you know what works me up or like in this way or that way, you know a lot about me. And I'm not sure that I'm comfortable with that because I grew up in a very manipulative household. And to give people that kind of information about you is not a good idea. But at the same time, like, at what point am I not going to be a person? Like, am I not just going to get to be myself, So I don't know if that's part of the general message. Me just thinking out loud because I don't know. I hope it comes across that I don't have everything figured out. Okay, another thing that I want to say too, I feel like we all have to have a working theory, right? And a theory is a hypothesis. It's an if-then statement. Like, if this happens, then this is true, right? Ooh. And we all have to have like a working theory in our life. But that doesn't mean that we're not open to changing those beliefs. But at the same time, like being open to changing those beliefs should be a rigid process. Like you should be running it through the paces of like, does this make sense? Like logically and everything like that. So I feel for me, it's like, yeah, I have a working theory and I'll put that out there very strongly, and I'll say like, I believe this or I believe that. And I try to explain too, where it's like, well, this is my worldview. And I try to explain it. That way you just know where I'm coming from. So you can like see if it resonates with you or not. And I don't know, it's just a jump off point. And I don't know that truth with a capital T is even the point of life. I think life is the Kobayashi Maru. We're just like kind of getting tossed around here. Okay. Yeah, I still have to be human. Okay, that was another thing too that like came out in one of the messages. I channeled it. I don't think I said it, but I was like, oh man, I wish that I would have said that. But it's like, there's certain people too. I think it was the Venus-Pluto stuff that I mentioned on the last live stream. The person who's more like Venus-Pluto, where that's the kind of person where when they're just human, people can feel like betrayed by that because they're not just like all love and light, but that's their trauma that's coming through. The Venus-Pluto that's like, oh my gosh, like please don't crisis at me. Like I just want us all to get along. Like, remember I was talking about the kill your Mars kind of thing where it's like, we don't have to be violent. We don't have to be competitive. We don't have to be argumentative. Like we can just all be like very loving. So that person, it's this desperation to kind of like keep the peace and to protect their energy because a lot of times they're the ones that's like over giving or over making amends. But whenever a person like that just is a human, people feel like betrayed by that or like, oh my gosh, like they're being manipulative or this or that. And it's like, they're a person too. Like they have the full gamut of emotions too. And I feel like that's something that we have to start checking in ourselves is just making sure that it's like, are you blaming somebody for just like being a person? And just like I said in that reading, I feel like it's worth repeating in the general message like portion of this. Personality is long-term traits over a period of time, but we all dip in and out of many different traits, and so you're going to see you're going to see a lot of different traits in a lot of different people. But if it's not like a long-term trait and you don't know this person very well, and like, then don't go jumping to conclusions, by all means, use your intuition, keep yourself safe and everything. But I just feel like I feel we talk a lot about psychology here and like psychological terms. And I just wanted to kind of clear that up. Like there are the overarching way that psychology is supposed to be implemented is long-term trends over a period of time. Also, disorder means something different too, because it means that you have disordered functioning. It means that you're not functioning well in your life. And that can be a different threshold for every person. So you could have people that actually display very similar traits. One's in a disordered state, the other isn't. Like it's a very personal thing, the field of psychology. And I just want to ground that into the overall context because I think sometimes when people like learn about psychology or something, there's that habit of, oh, well, I saw this, so it must mean this. I saw that and it must mean that. But it doesn't line up like that. You're looking about like long-term patterns and long-term traits. Not that I think that you should be trying to analyze other people. But I do think it's important to try to understand your own psychology. And I do feel like a lot of the universe is mental. Like it's a brain. It's like, it is like psychological, understanding where these kinds of things kind of come from. So I don't know. It's always this yes and energy, I feel like, with me. Where it's like, it's this, but then it's also this. And we're always looking for a balance, and we're always looking how to, if you're east of the river, you got to walk west to get there. And if you're west of the river, you got to walk east to get there, Okay. Let's see. I always reach for the message cards in this general message thing. So we'll do that here in a second. Well, actually, it's wanting to come out first here. Christina, thank you so much for the super chat. So grateful for you. This is life-changing and so healing. I'm so glad. Oh, okay. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. Okay, so someone is lost and they don't know what to do. I love you so much, but I keep running from you. I don't understand why I do this. Somebody here is like running away. I think about you so much, it's scaring me. This doesn't necessarily have to be like that they're a person that they're scared of either. It's like something that somebody is lost and they're running away from something. I never experienced this intense connection before. I feel so guilty about my actions and what I said to you. Okay, so somebody here is feeling very remorseful. This is kind of the energy that we were picking up on in pile number 3. This person also always waits till pile number 3 to come out, don't they? Because then I'll pick up the messages card. This person has a lot to say to you, but then it's all repressed and they don't want it to come out weird and they don't want it to come out funky. I'm so in love with you. You're so perfect to me. As I said that, they don't want it to come out weird. They don't want to be like, I'm so in love with you. You're so perfect to me. They would rather say like, I know that we're spiritually connected. This isn't over. I'm coming back for you kind of thing. So somebody here is feeling guilty. I think we knew that from pile number 3. Okay. That was a message. I'm not going to harp too much on that. This person just wants to like take over the reading sometimes. Okay. Spirit, what general messages do you have for people? What do you want to talk about? An argument. I just heard, yo, nothing good starts in a getaway car, because he's running to get on that bike. So, but there's also an impulse here. Okay, so there's spiritual guidance. So there's been some kind of argument here in the past, and I feel like somebody was trying to get on this getaway car. They could have even started an argument in order to stay on the getaway car, in order to like not take accountability or something. So they could have started an argument. If somebody started an argument with you and like you were so confused, I feel like Spirit is leading this person to make some kind of amends, but they're leading them into the unknown, and it's very much in like connecting them here with their intuition. And I'm seeing this person like rummaging around their mind on this dirt bike, and it might seem like this person's blocked off at the heart space here, but there's some kind of tower moment where maybe they're going to realize, they're going to realize that they feel guilty and that they experienced something really intense in this connection with this tower moment that they didn't want to face. And that's why they ran away from whatever this is. And you could feel a strong connection with this person, especially a mental connection with this person. Or you want to have a conversation with this person that is like of high intellect. You want to talk about certain ideas and like actually be able to connect about that. And I feel like that's what's going on. Like there's assistance. There's a lot of spiritual guidance here actually, to help this person understand that something here about this connection, there's some kind of tower energy here that's very, I don't think there was a strategy to break your heart here with this. This person was just like up in their head about something. Okay, what else do you want to say about this, Spirit? This person was running. Yo, nothing good starts in a getaway car. Yeah, there was like a lot of like potential here or something. For some, like you were in a relationship with this person, you really had to heal with this person, and it just felt like they started an argument with you and up and left. Not all towers were capes. Okay, so is there anything you want to talk about this argument? It seems like there was an argument here. they were running away from some kind of routine. And possibly this was like, they were running away from the possibility of having something like stable and long-term and routine with you and working together in teamwork. They were running away from this. Why? I feel like this person doesn't understand why they do what they do. And isn't that just so human? Like really, truly, we understand a lot about what we do, but then whenever the subconscious is involved, whenever the shadow is involved, we don't understand that. So there's something intense that happened, and Spirit was trying to get this person to look at this, but I feel like then they locked up their heart and they were like guarding it with their little sword here. And so it's because this person felt inadequate, or they felt locked out, or they could have felt weird, like they didn't fit in, or they could have felt inadequate. There's a strong connection here though. And so even if this person ran away from you, so that was what was coming out here. It's like, I think this person hasn't acknowledged that they feel guilty maybe yet, but they've never experienced this before, and they don't know what it is that they're feeling. And they're trying so hard to stay in this air energy. This person is with the Aquarius is coming out, and we've got the Queen of Swords. They're trying so hard to stay in this mental energy, but really this is like supposed to be a breakthrough of a heart energy in order for this person to realize where they belong. And I feel like where they belong, but it requires some kind of death renewal energy. It scared this person, whatever it was, this tower energy, this shock energy. It scared them, and that's what they ran away from. Why did it scare them? They didn't feel like they had anything to give. Maybe there was something monetarily that they were scared of. For some of you, I feel like this is an opportunity to like work with you or something, and it's like they didn't want, I don't know, this person could have like a weird thing about accepting money from other people, but also like they might not have thought that they had as much to give in this situation. Something here really spooked this person. And you might have been trying to get this person's attention. And you were like, look, I'm stable and I'm independent and I'm mature. And you were like trying to like kind of get this person's attention. And they recognize that as a wish fulfillment. But then there was this shadow content. There's something here where this person is different. And I don't know that you saw that. This person is different because there's strong Aquarian energy where this person like kind of feels different. And it's like, it kind of snuck up in their mind, and it was like, but you're never going to be good enough. And then they're going to find out that you're this way or that way. And then da 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 da. And then this person was like, and then like they just like panicked. I feel like there's a panic button. There was a panic moment here. And now there's like just a lot of like, this person's really up in their head about this connection, because they don't know what this is. They don't know. I feel like they can actually trust you here, but they don't know. Why is this person like this? Okay. I feel like you're like, why is this person like this? Or why did they do, I feel like this person spooked off. Like, that's what I'm kind of getting. Like a horse just all of a sudden, like everybody's just chill, and then the horse just like kind of takes off. I don't know. It feels like this person's got to temper themselves out on the inside. I don't know. I feel like this is confusing. Okay, anything else? We'll get a new energy. What deck should I use? All right, now there's a sneaky energy. And it was really not trying to come out too. It wanted me to run the same patterns. Like it was trying to get me to run the same patterns. So this is somebody who's trying to force something. But they're waiting in the shadows, and they're like waiting to betray you or to give you some kind of false truth. But it's like Trojan horsing it on the back of some kind of Ace of Pentacles energy. And they want it to look fair and balanced, but it's not. So this is somebody sneaking in the shadows. I just heard this person always does this. This person's done this to multiple people. Where people get involved with this person, and then they wonder what happened. They're like, I lost my life savings, or I lost my dignity, or something like that. Who is this person? They're a competitor. Or they like to stir up drama and chaos. This is the kind of person that is... it's like the trickster energy that is like, and I will give you $1 million, but all you have to do is cross the stream. And you're like, really, all I have to do is cross the stream? And like, there's nothing wrong, you know? And you're like, I mean, I'll cross the stream. And then you try to cross the stream, but all of a sudden there's people shooting guns at you. And like, you know, it's the energy just kind of changes. This person's like extremely disingenuous, and they like to stir up like a bunch of drama. I just heard, why is this person coming through the Tower? So this person is trying to steal something from you. I feel like for some, this person's trying to interrupt a partnership or a relationship, or like they're jealous of you, or they're jealous of like your partner. They're trying to like get in between the two of you because they're manipulative, and they're secretly after somebody that you're with, or they're secretly after you. This feels like they're trying to interrupt a partnership. Because this is weird. Because they feel like somebody here is like their twin flame. Or like they feel like somebody here is theirs, but it's like they're manipulating. So here's the thing. You want to, for some of you, this is like a lie in your head. It's some kind of false lie in your head. If you have to manipulate to get somebody, that's not your twin flame. Because if it's a divine connection, the divine will bring you together. Or the divine has stipulations like, I will bring the two of you together if you do this, this, and this. It's divinely guided. If you are the person that's having to make that happen through spell work, some people think that spells, like love spells, are like a light thing. It's not. It's manipulation. It's a binding spell. It's inherently not the energy of love. Leave that person alone. Work with yourself, you know? And if it comes together that way, then it is divine. And you have to be willing to put those checks on yourself. But somebody here is not being honest with themselves, and they're not being honest with other people. They're very disingenuous. They're here for a different reason than they're saying that they're here for. And this person's like skirting along the outer perimeter of your psyche. They're trying to cause chaos and confusion. They're trying to cause confusion. They're trying to muddy up the works here. Why? They just want to win. This goes back to like that first group that I was talking about, this misunderstanding of competition. It's like this person just wants to win. They want to be seen as the winner too, but they don't want to be seen as having forced the hand in some way. So for some of you, this does involve spell work, but for others, it's just manipulative. It's like the right hand doesn't see what the left hand is doing with this particular person. And they want to win. I think it's a person here, and they want to win this person, but they want to make it seem like that person just naturally chose them. But really, this person was doing a lot. They were doing the most behind the scenes. Yeah, look at this. Somebody here is like trying to prevent somebody from moving away from them, or prevent somebody from getting a victory. Can you blow the lid on this person? Who is this person? How can you, I just heard comeuppance. Somebody here is not looking at this person. Who is this person? They're not above board in the way that they go about certain things. Okay, because I'm seeing this 5 of Wands, and everybody's putting their wand in. And you see the dark cloak hand here that has this like giant sleeve? That's this negative person I'm seeing. So before that, it's just the 4 of Wands. So it could be that there's people trying to like actually put their wand in the right way, maybe for a partnership or some kind of like reconciliation. There's people that are doing that. And then this person puts theirs in, and they're doing it in such a way that's causing a problem. And it's underhand, and it's disingenuous, and it's order to scramble things and to confuse. This person's trying to confuse. What are they trying to confuse? That said, isn't it weird that combining letters into words is called spelling? It's because of how powerful the word actually is. They're trying to confuse who is responsible for what, so that a balance cannot be had. They're trying to confuse who is responsible for what so that a balance cannot be had, because something needs to change here. But if you can't get to the root of what needs to change, then you can't actually fix the problem. Why is this person doing this? King of Pentacles. So it's like they want to be the King of Pentacles. They could be doing this for money or to promote themselves, to like move themselves forward in some way. Oh my gosh, because of the star energy. There's some benefit of this King of Pentacles energy actually being partnered up with the star energy because it makes them unique or different. Like it's a very traditional kind of energy. So I feel like there's something about this person where maybe they would have like a normal life, or maybe they would have, you know, some kind of like structure or stability or like a nice job or something here like that. But if they partner up with a star, then it makes them interesting or unique. It has a little razzle dazz, you know, like it makes them interesting or something here like that. And so it's very opposite energies that this person is trying to infuse and trying to like move forward. But they're trying to confuse the fact that this is what they're doing. Possibly because somebody here has found their temperance, and possibly because somebody here is like already in a relationship and happy with somebody else. Because they just want to win. They just want a victory. But again, this is improper winning. They want to win through some kind of underhanded means. They want it to seem like it's love, and they want to seem like it's a spiritual inheritance. But really, it's a lot of hard work. This person's been working at this. So how can you get rid of this person, or how can you deal with this person? Oh, painful ending. Look, death energy. So, I mean, I think there might be some observance of a death here, like observing some kind of death that maybe you didn't want to look at. That maybe you didn't want to look at because you felt insecure about it. Because maybe you felt this person was an actual rival. But really, this person was a betrayer, and they want the responsibility energy to go where it's not going. Like where it's not, they want somebody else. They want it to seem like somebody chose them or something else, but they didn't. So there's some kind of painful energy that was actually a betrayal, possibly to this star person that had to move away and heal. Somebody doesn't want to look at this. Somebody, oh, okay. So for some, also, somebody could want this King of Pentacles. I don't know which way this goes. I feel like if it's a man, it's a King of Pentacles that thinks somebody here is like very interesting or different. That adds the razzle dazzle. But for some, this could be somebody that feels on the outskirts of something and they want to attach themselves to this King of Pentacles, maybe because he has money. I feel like they could be from a different place than this King of Pentacles. Doesn't have to be. But there's something here, whoever you are that's being like targeted by this like nefarious energy, look at a painful ending that you didn't want to look at in the past because it made you feel weak. It made you feel defensive. This is the wall that needs to be looked at, peered into, because it prevented an apology. Not seeing this clearly prevented an apology. There's way more carnage that has gone on behind the scenes than you even realize, because this situation is not what it looks like, because this nefarious person has been working behind the scenes to create this painful ending, and possibly to create two different narratives or to give two different impressions of a person that may have ended things, that may have felt betrayed or something, and they ended things with a friend group or with a particular person. I don't know, because and it was so that somebody could fall in their trap. Somebody could have control or power over somebody. And it's preventing somebody from having a strong expression of love or apology or even anger going after this person. Somebody here needs to be gone after, I think. Like put in their place. Outed from the shadows. And it changed the wheel of fortune here. And somebody felt wounded by this. And maybe they went running back to exactly like the way that they felt hurt. And then so if you felt hurt by this situation, you went running back to somebody's bosom for like comfort. Look who that was. Look into them first. Whoever you went crying back to, because it was a devil energy. Maybe for some of you, this links to pile 2, where there was a feminine energy that paid a masculine energy to do something underhand to get somebody to go back into their arms. And it was that Jesha energy, remember? So Jesha, when it's a female, is that elder sister energy that's disrespected. But if it's a male, it's a womanizer that maybe wanted to settle down with a Jesha figure, but somebody was like, let me drive this womanizer back. Like, the only way I can get my hands on this womanizer kind of person is by being underhand. So for some, there's this ties in with pile number 2. Underhanded victory. That's what this is. It's an underhanded victory. I feel like there's judgment energy being cast in this space. The responsibility energy has gone in the wrong directions, and this is being righted. This is being corrected. And part of the correction is somebody here needed to have like some kind of fierce expression of truth or apology or love towards somebody here. They didn't, because they thought that somebody was an actual competitor, but they were very underhand in what they did to actually betray somebody and hurt somebody that should have been a friend. And so I feel like that was whoever was going to give that expression of love was either going to save this person from this fate, or somebody was trying to get that person to run back to them. And they're probably going to have to blame themselves for a while. Like, I should have said this or that, and they were kind of waiting for this person to come back, but then they were in a hermit mode. Because they wanted a partnership here. So somebody presented as a genuine competitor, and they were not. They were extremely underhand in order to get a relationship with either a King of Pentacles or somebody that's represented by the Star. They were trying to get one of these two people because they felt like they needed to partner with that person in order to seem like they were interesting. Like, they wanted the King of Pentacles energy that's stable and has money and is maybe seen as traditional, but then they also wanted this Star energy that's like different, interesting, and unique. They wanted that blend of combinations. And this person maybe felt like they were one or the other. And so they were trying to latch on to another person in order to put forth this image into the world. And for some, this went on both sides. For this Star person, they had somebody like this. And for this, so I don't know. For this King of Pentacles, it was somebody else as well. There was really underhand. Maybe that is the joining of forces. Somebody was like, hey, you want this person and I want this person. So if we work together to sabotage these two, then I'll get this person and you'll get that person, kind of a thing. Could have been that. Could have been that collusion between these two, but it doesn't have to be. Anyways, that was crazy. And they don't want me to pick up on their energy. They really don't. They want me to, because this is the kind of energy that hides, that likes to hide in legitimate energy. So this is also like a smaller energy. Not everybody's out here doing this. This is like a small cohort of people in our messages. So the energy that I pick up on the main messages, it's going to be more general, and they want their energy to seem like it's a part of the general messages, right? And so they want, because the way I experience this is I wanted to grab for the same decks that I've been using, but something was like, no, stop, like think about what deck you want to grab, And so it's like they expected me to run the same routes that I always was running, but it's like, no, stop, pause, like think, be different, like be conscious in this situation. That's something that's like going on here. This is extremely underhand. People are insecure is what I'm getting. Like, I'm not excusing this. This is usually cruelty is a sign of cowardice, like extreme cowardice. And in that way, we can have compassion for these people. Not that we should not hold them accountable, because first and foremost, these people need to be dealt with. These are parasites. These are parasitic people that try to take from other people. They try to interrupt people's destinies. It is not cool. It is unacceptable. These people need dealt with, for sure. They need to just be shunned at the very least, like held socially accountable, like you're disgusting and we don't do this. They need to be outed in the light of day as being as disgusting as they are, and for doing exactly what they're doing, because they're trying to give a different impression, these people. And they like to be seen as strong, but really they're the weakest thing that there is, because cruelty, this is a cruelty, always corresponds with cowardice. So these are cowards that are just teaming up like parasites. I don't know. And they don't want to be seen that way. They don't like that I'm talking about them that way, because I'm even feeling it in my stomach like, oh, like, no, that's what you are. If you're watching this and that's what you do, that's what you are. And you need to stop, and you need to remove your tentacles. If you've managed to bind yourself to somebody, you need to unbind yourself immediately in order to like rejoin the light side of things. And you need to move away. Because there's something here you should never have involved yourself with. You should have never been involved with. You should have never betrayed this person who was like a loving person. And you should have never given a false impression to the other person, the person that you knew they were soul connected to in some kind of way. You should have never given that false impression to that person or set up some kind of weird scenario to where it pushed the responsibility energy away from you. And you know damn well that you put that there. The truth needs to come out. You're tiresome. I just heard you're tiresome. You were absolutely tiresome. This cycle has run its course. Everybody's over you and your shenanigans, and you will be forcibly removed from this situation on an energetic level, or you will remove yourself. If you want to play nice, I just saw them put you in preschool. It's like you're in energetic preschool and you don't want to admit that. You need to play with your blocks and you need to play with your fire trucks. And like, that's where you need to go be in order to rehabilitate yourself. You're like a toddler that just like kind of got like let loose. So you need to go over there. And I just heard stop chasing waterfalls. Like you saw something that two people had together and you wanted to ruin it instead of building your own up and being on your own journey. And you think that that puts you on the same level as them. And it doesn't. Somehow you're in like energetic or spiritual preschool and you need to go back to like you got out somehow and you need to go back. It's back there. He's up there. Yeah. So they're really trying not to be seen here. But I'm just letting you know, even if you manage to get whatever you're trying to get out of this situation, you're not top dog. You're not the strongest. Everybody suffers when a person like you is in charge or when because you're so selfish. It's so incredibly selfish. And, yeah. Somebody who's trying to overthrow another person as well. Like if this is a work scenario, this could be somebody, because the Aquarian energy is like crowd energy, the group energy. And the King of Pentacles is like the leader or the owner, like the store owner or like the business owner or something. Like everybody, they don't care though. These people really, truly, they have no scruples about them. This is an evil energy. They're just doing it to try to fast track themselves. That's really it. Judgment. There's judgment hitting this situation because Spirit is bringing in a victory. Yeah, because somebody here is like trying to make amends. And somebody here's like put a major blockage, like obstacle in between somebody and their destiny. That's what it feels like. Somebody and their destiny, whether that was like an actual person or whether that was like a job situation, somebody here has been responsible for doing that and they're being outed. They're being removed like a splinter that's being worked out of the skin. It's not going to hold. Not even for much longer. It's not going to hold forever. This cycle is over and that person's going to be dealt with. So, okay. They forgot about God. Yeah, like they've definitely forgot about God. Short-sighted people tend to do that. This person has the predator gaze, you know? So predators in the wild, you'll notice their eyes are usually on the front of their head and it's like they've got this penetrator gaze, whereas like prey animals tend to have eyes on the side of their head that they can see kind of like all around. So that's part of like the dysfunction of that predator gaze is all they see is what's in front of them. It's a very short-sighted energy, where they're not factoring in like all the variables, but God can factor in all the variables. But these people have like a godlike complex. Oh, I'm going to get in this situation and I'm going to play God. But their strategy is backfiring on them like it was always going to, because these people lack wisdom. There is no way to game the system. And actually, the more these people have tried, because you can do it for short bursts of time, it just never holds. And you're always in a worse off position than you were in before. That's how young these people are as souls. That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing them in energetic preschool. They haven't even learned that it's like, you know, if you try to bite your friends to get the fire truck, like the teacher's going to put you in timeout, you know? You're going to send a note home with your parents, you know, it's that kind of thing. And you're always in a worse off situation. Now you're not trusted to play alone. When the kids get to play with the fire truck, you have to stand by the teacher and play with yours, you know, like now you're no longer trusted. It's like, this actually has some kind of repercussion. It's putting them in a worse and worse position every time. And, like for some, they have to be isolated. This is like putting them in a life where they live alone at the Arctic Circle, you know, and they don't have a community and they don't have a tribe. So they are going to chop wood and carry water all by themselves. And then they're going to learn how valuable it is to play nice with the other kids. And they can do that. I'm just hearing like a cold hell from Buddhism. That would be like a cold hell, I guess, you know, where you're going to learn that it's actually beneficial for you to play nice with the other kids. And you're going to do that for like a whole, like, zodiac age or something. Some of these people are staring down a future that looks like that if they can't play nice with other people. Then they're not going to be allowed to be around other people. And it's going to look very survival is what I just heard. All they can put their mind on is survival until they learn respect for the safety that the community offers. And this is why we don't tear down the community and the social connections that couples who love each other, and when people are in their right social positions, how everybody benefits from that. They have to learn how to be cooperative. Otherwise, if you break the social contract, you get thrown out of the social group kind of a situation. I feel like they're really going to crack down on this person, whoever it is. So good luck to them. Oh, wow. He's 75 now. I think time is running out for him for that in this lifetime. But there's other like planets and stuff like, yeah, I'm just seeing like whatever it is, they have to learn the value of the community, whatever it is that they're going to put them through. But I was just supposed to give you that example so that they know like there are things that your spirit guides can do where it's like if you've got a group of people that is like, no, this nasty person, I just heard everybody refuses to go in with you. Everybody's got free will and everybody refuses to go in with you. Nobody believes in you actually now. Nobody believes in your soul. Everybody thinks that you're a bad egg. So you have to go demonstrate that you are a better person at the Arctic Circle with you and your seal best friend, like, yeah. All right. So that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting. Yeah. Cause these are also the kind of people that think if they get what they want out of the situation, then that's a win, but it's only a win for them because these people also like, they have things they're supposed to do for each other, but there's also, it benefits the group. Like when you meet your destiny and you're with the person that you're meant to be with and you have the job that you're meant to have, and you take your position, everybody does better. Can you imagine if your liver tried to be a brain and it was like, I got the top spot and you're like sitting there like this at the table and everybody's like, I mean, I guess if you want to call that a win, having a liver for a brain and a brain trying to process all the toxins of your body, nothing functions, it's kind of like that. So but they don't have the wisdom. These people don't have these people are not benefited by this situation. They don't even have the wisdom to see that. So anyways, I think you get the point with that, but that's what I have for you guys. This was a longer reading and nice. Okay. Nice. Lovely terms. Okay. So that's what I have for you guys. We don't have a Patreon reading tomorrow for those of you that are on Patreon, but I might share some of my favorite SNL skits over there. Just because I like to do that sometimes. Because we have 5 weeks in this month, and I've started working on personal readings. So if you guys have those, we've sent out a lot of, because I already have a wait list. So if you've been on my wait list, you've been on there for quite some time. So we're sending them out, and we're working through the list. So if we don't hear back from people, we're bumping them once, I think, or maybe twice. And yeah, just to see if you want that, but then I'm going to move on. And so I've got ones that I'm working through now. So
just everybody who was on the wait list previously, please check the email that you used to sign up for the wait list, because many of you have emails that you may not have seen yet that provide instructions for how to proceed with getting your reading.
And if you don't want a reading now, that's also fine too. So
absolutely. But I just want to make sure that everybody's aware, so that way you can go and check your email, because there's been some people that we haven't heard back from, and we're going to try to work through the list here as quickly as possible. So everybody keep an eye out.
Everybody keep an eye out. All right. Bye guys. Have a good rest of your day. Alex just moved me. All right. Bye guys.